Let's go, chat. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We are back. How's it going, chat? Welcome back to day 162 of Vibe Coding IDE making $1 million. Current ARR is at 76,000. Let's go. Let's go, chat. Let's go. What's up, Gato? What's up, Tessie? What's up, Mute the Yap? What's up, Sir Jeff? What's up, Jude? What's up, Sky Official? The Jumpster, what's up? What's up? Mikhail, what's up? What's up? Welcome back, everyone. Today's gonna be a good one. Gonna be locking in, cooking up BridgeCode, BridgeSpace, BridgeVoice. We're gonna be focusing in. Vibe Coding just launched on Product Hunt. Make some continued products in progress today. Consistency is the key. Remember that, chat. You show up every day, you become the man in the arena, and you will become successful. Let's drop a 50 bomb, chat. Let's go. All right, chat. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Right now we're using Claude Code, and we're locking in. All right. Let's turn the music down a little bit. Get the chill music on, and get to grinding. I'm gonna give you guys a quick breakdown of everything. So real quick. All right, hold on. All right. Chill music is on. All right, Crazy Gamer, thank you. All right, OG Tessie. Okay, so I'm gonna do something real quick. So this is my BridgeMind workspace, okay? So I've got Claude agents opened up inside of the BridgeMind directory. So this is gonna be BM Claude. But chat, we also are going to open up quite a few Codex agents as well today. We need Codex because, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but it actually turns out that apparently Anthropic has been deprecating Claude Opus 4.6 performance. People on X are going crazy about this. People are saying that pretty much Opus 4.6, the reasoning has been turned down. I don't know if you guys have had that experience as well, but that's a big issue that people are talking about right now online. But let's open this up. We're going to launch 2 Codex agents here. ChatGPT also did release their $100 plan yesterday, which is nice. But we'll see here. Drew, welcome back. Yep, day 162. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, so we're going to be launching some Codex today as well. We've got the Claude agents running here. But all right. Hold on. I'm going to move things around a little bit here. Let me move this over here. All right. All right, it's going to go over here. Okay. Let's go over here and let's get the workspace set up as well. So we're going to CD into our projects respectively. First thing we need to go into is BridgeMind UI. Let's get dev started here. And let's go over here as well. We're going to need to find API. That is going to need the Postgres instance to actually start up. Let's go over here and run. Hold on. Let's look at activity monitor real quick. It looks like there's something's up. 68. Do you think this era is the best time to live? I think it's definitely a good one. You know, people don't understand how good AI is going to get over the next couple months. We were actually talking about this in the Discord this morning. We were talking about how the models that we're using right now are actually models that were trained on legacy chips. You know, and the chips that exist now that current models are being trained on are way, way, way more powerful. But give me 1 second here. We're gonna put the desk down here and lock in for a bit. All right, let's get it, chat. Does walking pad and vibe coding work? It does, yeah. Usually I go about 3 miles per stream, and that's definitely nice. But let me pull up the Twitch chat as well. I am streaming on Twitch now too. Sorry about that. And I'm watching the Twitch chat. Big shout out to Hefty Tartar. Shout out to I Am Bedroom. Shout out to Only. Shout out to Kristifa. Thank you guys. I appreciate all the support over on Twitch. We're trying to grow that platform as well. We could potentially hit 60,000 subscribers today. I don't know yet though. But here's BridgeCode launching. What are my monthly costs? It really just depends. My monthly costs on AWS are about it's $1,000 a month for AWS, and then my API expenses and whatnot, my AI subscription expenses are about $1,000 a month as well. Okay, so this is BridgeCode. This is going to be the main focus of today, and we really want to lock in. AP Knight over on Twitch, what's up? People are asking how much are you going to pay Clip? $1 per 1,000 views. We'll talk about that after the stream, but yes, we are hiring Clippers 100%. Claude is slower this week too. Yeah, the rate limits are pretty bad on Claude Code. We're gonna see what this is here. I mean, even these, for example. Hold on, okay, let's go over here. This looks fine. This looks fine. Here's Codex. So GPT 5.4 high here. This is what we're gonna be using Codex wise today. Let's actually add in here. Hold on. So let's go over here, and I'm gonna pause some of these because these are doing reviews of the code base, but it is functioning. It looks like it's functioning it's launching a bunch of sub agents without me asking it to. So I don't want to use too much of my token usage here. Let me slow this down here, and we'll kind of focus in. All right, we definitely want to close these. All right, we want to close this workspace. Okay, let's open up a new workspace here. And this one, I'm going to CD into BridgeMind. And we're just going to run 2 Claude agents, okay? So we're going to have, this is what we're going to do, chat. We're going to have one workspace, which is going to be Codex agents. So this is going to have 3 Codex agents. And then we're going to have another workspace, which is going to be 3 Claudes. And guys, I'm actually going to do something interesting that I don't often do. I'm actually going to be using GLM 5.1 today because I need that we actually have a good view of it, because I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it actually turns out that GLM 5.1 is performing incredibly well inside of look at this. Let's pull up LM Arena. You guys need to see this. This is actually insane. So look at this. If you guys didn't know about this, so go to LM Arena, right? And go to the leaderboard in LM Arena. Check this out. I actually saw this morning. So let's go to the overall. This is insane. So over here in code, we have a new member of the AI coding arena here. Look at this. GLM 5.1 is now, it got 1530 on this, which is just insane. Which is, that is crazy, chat. Literally 1530. And I don't necessarily know, some people are saying the audio is cutting in and out sometimes. Okay, good to know. Okay, AP Knight, I'll look into that. How did I make the GUI for BridgeSpace? I vibe coded it with the, just my brain. Okay. I vibe coded it with English. Also, Quen 3.6 on this here. I did see this on Bridgebench as well. Was doing really well too. Awaria, what's up, man? How's it going? So this is really, really interesting. GLM 5.1. Very, very powerful. The arena is just user submissions, not real data. I mean, people are voting for this. They're voting 1,000 votes. If we do look at BridgeBench, we can see how it's performing in BridgeBench. I mean, guys, look at this. On Design Arena now, GLM 5.1 is actually doing very, very good on Design Arena. I want to show you guys, like, for example, there's a Flappy Bird game. Did GLM 5.1 do Flappy Bird? Did we run it through Flappy Bird? Okay, here's the Flappy Bird game here. Okay, so this is the GLM 5.1 Flappy Bird game. I mean, guys, like, it's literally Flappy Bird. And this is GLM 5.1. So I do want to test this, like, not just on... Okay, well, now I'm actually into the game. Let's go. I mean, I was a Flappy Bird champ back in... I mean, this is literally, like, exactly like Flappy Bird. So GLM 5.1 made this. And we'll compare this to the Opus 4.6 one. Okay, I could literally go for hours on this. Okay, but look at that. So that's the UI that we're seeing inside of 5.1. I do want to show you guys, if we go to the leaderboards here, this is what we're seeing in the leaderboards. Look at this. GLM 5V Turbo is tied with Claude Opus 4.6 for design. Okay, so that is actually, like, insane. GLM 5 Turbo tied with Claude Opus 4.6 on design. That's what we're seeing on Design Arena. So I know that a lot of people are going to have, you know, a lot to say and say, oh, you know, whatever, they're all trash. But here's the thing, is that, like, you know, this is actually doing pretty well on benchmarks. Like, if we go to Flappy Bird, let's go over to Flappy Bird and let's go to Opus 4.6, right? And you guys can be the judge of this, okay? Here's Flappy Bird with Opus 4.6, okay? But, guys, okay, the Opus 4.6 Flappy Bird is actually, like, better, though. Hold on. The functionality may not be as good, though. Hold on. The UI of it, in my opinion, I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys can literally go to bridgebench.ai right now and check this out. But it's like, I mean, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. I don't know what you guys think about this, but it's like, hey, we're starting to see some of these Chinese models catch up, like, for sure. That's crazy. That is crazy. W game, let's go. Is it open source so I can run it on my own device? What is open source? Okay, Christifa said, I like a fatter bird personally. Yeah, he said tied with, yeah, it is crazy. It's crazy, yeah. Yeah, Christifa, yeah, it is very, very interesting. What about the new meta model? I mean, the meta model, people are going to overhype this. I actually saw some of the goofy influencers hyping it up. But here's the thing, like, Muse Spark, this is actually Super Combo Gamer threw me this. He sent me a screenshot of how it was performing here. It performs very well on text, but that's pretty much it. Like, it doesn't really perform anywhere close. I mean, if you look at the arena overview, though, here it's ranked number 4, but it's not actually categorized in some of these other areas as well. But we'll see. We'll be the judge of this as it kind of gets better. But it's like the Muse Spark from the benchmarks initially. The benchmark to this, when we benchmarked it, I think I made an X post about it that I could probably find, but the benchmarks of Muse Spark are good, but it's like, it's way behind Opus 4.6 still, and this is the frontier model coming out of Meta. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's a frontier model, but, okay, also, I am going to be using the DGX Spark. This new model, it's actually not a new model. It's the first time I've hooked it up, though. Hold on, let's actually get it running. I need you to help me update the configuration of my open code. Oh, wait, hold on. I don't have BridgeVoice running. Hold on. Let's open up BridgeVoice. All right, BridgeVoice is opened up here. All right, BridgeVoice is opening up. There we go. BridgeVoice now opened. I do not know if Meta is in code for LM Arena. I don't think it is yet. No, it's not yet. No. Yeah. All right. I need you to review my open code configuration and look at the DGX Spark model list. Note that currently I have this model loaded onto the GPU, and I want you to hook this up as the default model for the DGX Spark. Okay, so check this out, guys. We're going to test this actually like in our workflow today. It's very, very interesting model. Let me pull it up. I know it's running on cursor somewhere. So it's this Qwen 3 Coder model. I don't know if you guys if anybody's into open source or into these models, you guys will know that this is actually a very popular model to run on a DGX Spark. It's the Qwen 3 Coder model, and it's very, very impressive. So I'm going to launch another 2 open code panes here. Let's launch another open code and then another open code. And here's what we're going to do. So this one, you guys can see the GPT OSS, that we're not going to be using that one. Let's switch over to GLM 5.1 here. If we can find it, GLM 5.1, and I do want to use it directly from ZAI, And then this one's also going to be running GLM 5.1. So we're just going to be testing this out today so that we could get a good view of it. I may make a video on it. It was performing very, very poorly when I tested it last week, but that was when, like, it was before they actually shipped it. So we'll see here if it's actually good. Marzilli said you should add pixelized agent office for Claude Code and Codex agents. What do you mean? A pixelized agent office? What, like, describe that? Like, what do you mean by that? Okay. Let's go here. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay. So it is going to connect to this, but let's get this running as well. So we're going to go to BridgeCode. And before we get started today, let's just check usage real quick. Let's check usage. So usage is at 9% used. That's not bad so far. We have a couple hours, though. Our session just kind of started. So what's today's goal? So today we are going to make a ton of progress on BridgeCode. So this is an Electron application. This is going to ship in April. This is the BridgeMind AI Coding IDE. This is the Vibe Coding IDE. I don't like the Office thing. It's a meme. Yeah, it's kind of like just a pump. I've seen it. I want you to review this project in depth and prepare to assist me with it. We are going to be working on the agent harness specifically, do an in-depth review with deep dive agents, and then prepare to assist me. Mythos was made for the code. They do not want to release it. Yeah, they do not want to release Mythos. I mean, I don't necessarily think that they should release Mythos if it's like dangerous and whatnot. So I'm glad that they did that. But the thing is like, okay, Super Combo also said that GLM 5.1 is super slow and locked at one API call at a time. Wow, that's insane. So you could literally only use one agent on that. Hold on, let me launch. I need to launch my Postgres database real quick before we can get started on this. So let me do that real quick. Okay. All right, also, guys, I do have a like goal of 300 likes today. If you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. We're getting really, really close to hitting 60,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is just absolutely insane, guys. So thank you so much for that. It's crazy. Okay, let's see this. What is this error here? Oh, it's failing to fetch. That's fine. All right, we're good there. So our API is running. So let's relaunch BridgeCode here, and that looks like it's running well. Perfect, perfect. So I can sign in with my browser here. And I'll kind of show this to you guys. So this is how this is going to work. So this is just the first functionality that we have. The deep link, it does work well. So if we just type in our password, and that's going to deep link back to the application, we now are able to actually get in. And here's BridgeCode. So BridgeCode, so far, this is what it looks like. Right now, it's compatible so that you can actually just connect it to your local Codex login, which is very, very nice. So rather than having to overpay for like a cursor subscription, you can use this and you just connect it with your existing subscriptions, right? You can't do that with Claude because, as you guys know, they blocked third-party subscriptions, but, you know, we'll see how that plays out over time. Also, Only, thank you for the help there. Yeah, thank you, Only. Appreciate it. That is sad, though. We will never have the good AI models. No, we will. We 100% will. Okay, so let's launch a new agent and actually test this. Also, this is so ugly. I hate when it does this background there. Do you guys see that background that it did? Let's open BridgeSpace back up. I do not want that. All right. All right, so we're going to use this one. Why can I not drag and drop today? That's so weird. I'm unable to drag and drop on... Okay, that's fine. I want you to review the background glowing effect that is in the agent window inside of BridgeCode. Remove this. It is unprofessional. All right. All right, so we'll remove that. Let me see if we do have that Quen coder model running now. It looks like we do. This should be good. Let's test it out, guys. So now when I go over to the workspace here, if I go to models, I should be able to switch to the... Okay, so this is everything that's running on my DGX Spark. So you have DeepSeek R1, GPT OSS, Gemma 4, and then Quen 3.5. I think I just have to restart this, and once I relaunch OpenCode, will it be available? Let's see. Okay, perfect. Hello there. What model are you? All right, let's see. This should work, and it's very, very fast as well. It's very, very fast. So if this doesn't, hold on, we'll see. We'll see. All right, there it is. All right, so it says, yeah. So that's sick. So you guys can see that this is now working. It's on this DGX Spark behind me. Is this right here? So we basically are using Olama and we're connected to it, and this is a very fast model. Like if you do go check out BridgeBench, I did add this to the DGX Spark benchmark today, and let me show this to you guys. It's pretty cool. Also, the UI design on this screen is terrible. So let's use GLM 5.1. Oh, isn't GLM 5.1, doesn't it not have vision though? Isn't it not a vision model? Let's launch another Claude agent. Okay. You can connect it through the Claude CLI. What do you mean? Are you guys talking about with the Quen Coder model? All right. I'm pretty sure. I want you to review the screenshot of the image during the BridgeCode authentication process. After I successfully log in, it shows me this screen. Would you help me improve this? Make it so that it is modernly styled. Use the front-end design plugin and actually have the BridgeCode logo and make it have an animation and make it actually use the BridgeMind theme of the website. Yeah. Okay. There. Yeah. That is crazy. Like GLM 5.1, it can't see images, which is very surprising. But let's just try and give it like a simple front end task. So if we go to BridgeCode here, a couple things that we have done is, for example, it is now an IDE. So we did this yesterday. If you go to Files, you can now actually see that I'm inside of this, right? Like I'm literally inside, and this is a working IDE. We built this yesterday while we were on stream. It functions very, very well. It's similar to VS Code, just in terms of like the styling of everything. I like the look of it. Let's see how this looks in dark mode as well. Okay, that's an issue. Glad we did that. Okay, let's do this real quick. So always check that. So let's see. I don't think that this can you process images? So I don't think that this can process images, but isn't that what the GLM 5V is for? Let's see if that is also available. Let's see if the GLM 5V, is that available? Okay. Yeah, so GLM 5V Turbo. So 5V Turbo is what we're going to want to use for this, because this is the model that actually has image capabilities. Also authentic. What the heck? Hello there. Are you reading me? I think I may need to set my AI API key. I do have the GLM Coding Max plan. So we'll see. Let me get my API key. It looks like it's not set, so let me set it real quick. I need to go get that GLM coding plan. Let me get that real quick, chat. How am I doing voice to text? So for voice to text, I am using Bridge Voice. This is a tool in the BridgeMind suite of vibe coding tools. You can see that I've spoken 117,000 words to it. This is, in my opinion, the best voice to text tool on the market. It's faster than WhisperFlow. It's very reliable. And you also have the ability to choose between local or cloud transcription. It's the only product on the market that actually allows for both. It's actually pretty cool. Yeah, API key is needed for 5V. I'm setting it right now. Okay, so I am going to set this API key. All right, you guys cannot see this API key. It's very sensitive. All right, let's just launch. Great work. I now need you to set this as my API key for the ZAI provider so that I can use ZAI as a provider with this API key so that I can actually use my GLM coding plan inside of OpenCode, review, and set this properly. Okay, so I'm going to drop this API key in. Yeah. All right, so I definitely do not want to expose this. All right, I just pasted my API key into OpenCode. Wait, where'd it go? Where did it go? Hold on, I may have to do that again. I don't know where it went. Okay, Mars over on Twitch said you should do a weekly vibe coding challenge where you give everybody an app to build, example, a chatbot or whatever, and then people upload theirs anonymously and people vote in the winner. Something, it doesn't have to be money or crypto, could be anything like promoting their product or no prize, but this would be a really cool idea. Yeah, I like that. It is a really good idea. Wait, what do you guys mean? I paste my API key in chat. What do you guys mean? I don't see anything. All right, so this is working. We'll be able to see this here. This is, we'll get this working, and then this will be a good test of GLM5V Turbo, because I mean they're saying that this is actually like one of the best tools. Make sure that I'm able to use the GLM5V Turbo model as well with ZAI. Okay, set that as well. I think this should work now. We'll test it here in a second. But let's go back over to BridgeCode here and see what we're working with. Okay, so let's go back over to dark mode and let's just test out the, okay, that did fix that. Okay, so let's go to BridgeMind, for example. And when you click into a certain directory, it then loads in the file tree for that directory. Do you guys see that? So when you're clicked into a particular directory, it actually just renders in that entire directory, which is very nice. So you guys can see that. So you guys see this? So this looks good. You can do new files. Everything that you need is here. And then also, hold on, in the Electron, can I turn on autosave? Okay. All right. Yeah, I will have an event that I'm going to be announcing on Sunday that I'm really excited about, guys. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I don't think this works. Okay, I don't like the borders on all this. And this is where we definitely want to test out this GLM5V model because, hey, I mean, they're saying that it's #1 in design, and it's also way faster. Okay, it says that it added it. Okay, so Codex said that it added my API key and everything, so we should be able to use this now. Let's see here. So let's launch open code, and okay, let's now do models, and we should be able to do GLM5V Turbo via ZAI. Hello there. Let's just see if this works. Hello there. What? Apparently my current subscription plan doesn't include GLM5V Turbo. That is so ridiculous. How can I not use GLM5V Turbo? That's insane. All right, I guess that's insane, chat. Because I literally pay $80 a month for that. How do they not have that? That's so ridiculous. That's stupid. And that's the problem, is that if you don't have GLM, if you don't have that, right? Like if you don't have, like, how do I not have access to that? And I literally have the max plan. Like, that's ridiculous. I have the max GLM coding plan, and I still can't use GLM5V Turbo. That's ridiculous. Christiva said not exactly the same, but we do a product sharing thing on Discord. Sometimes that's really dope. A lot of us hang out in co-working voice chat while building. It's good stuff. Thank you, Christiva. Yeah, it is pretty fun. Okay, let's go back over here. And let's drop this one in. I think I just need to copy this, I guess. Great work. Now look at the borders on some of these buttons. It looks really, the styling of this does not look good. Use the front-end design skill and help me improve the styling of these buttons. Okay, so I'm going to use the front-end design skill on that. Sadly, we always get the old models, not the up-to-date models. We will see Anthropic has been on some BS. They finally, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like, try Kilo Code. I don't use Kilo Code. The front end design plugin makes Opus so much better. If GLM 5.1 gets anywhere close, then I'll be super happy. Yeah, the front end design plugin. I actually made a video on that. That's gonna be going live on the Vibe Academy YouTube channel on the front end design plugin. If you guys don't know what that already is. All right. Also, guys, View Creator Studio is working very well now. So this launched today on Product Hunt. This was a test. It launched this morning on Product Hunt. If you guys remembered yesterday's stream, we launched this on Product Hunt. Let's actually take a look at it. So View Creator is now live on Product Hunt. It has 11 followers. If you guys want to go upvote this on Product Hunt, feel free to go do so. But yesterday is where we actually created our first Product Hunt. I just dropped the link to it in the chat. But I've never launched anything on Product Hunt before, and the reason that I did this is I just wanted to see, like, hey, what happens when you launch something on Product Hunt? Does it help with SEO? This has been upvoted, it looks like twice. Upvote, yeah, so it's been upvoted literally one time. So without the visibility, I didn't expect that view creator would go crazy on Product Hunt. I just wanted to try it and to see what happened. But like so far today on view creator, if we look at the Stripe dashboard, I mean, I literally posted on Product Hunt, and let's see here. I don't think I've gotten, yeah, literally 0 subscriptions. Look at this, chat. 0 subscriptions today for view creator, which is unfortunate. I do have, I have a $1,000 payout coming my way for that, but look at this, chat. So here is the Stripe dashboard for view creator. Gross volume today, $0. Yesterday was $20. My balance, I'm about to get $1,000 from it. But, I think that, with view creator, a lot of people, I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. Somebody said Product Hunt is literally all bots. You think so? Kevin's Max said it's been working for me that way. That it's been working like that for me. What do you mean? What do you mean? But yeah, I mean, it's okay. But ultimately, I think what view creator is for is, hey, view creator, this is an incredible way to clip in a very, very affordable way. Look at this, guys. Literally, we spent 12 cents clipping this video, right? So it's literally a penny per clip. And I think that in the next 6 months, how we're going to scale BridgeMind, how we're going to scale all of this, is we're going to have to scale it with clipping. So for example, if I pull up BridgeMind, right? Look at this stream right here. This stream got 40,000 views, right? So this stream got 40,000 views. We now need to clip this. 40,000 views, 1.3K likes. If we go to new job, I can paste this in, right? And I'll let's just generate as many clips as we can. Let's do 25 clips, right? And let's see how this works. This is going to be a long video that I'm clipping, but it's going to first download the video, and then it's going to be able to transcribe the video, and that's able to process clips, and then use FFmpeg to actually create those clips. So because this is such a long video, this will take a couple minutes to clip, but we'll see how much it costs to clip a 4-hour video, and we'll see how many, well, it's going to produce 25 clips, but we'll see how much it costs and how long it takes. That's going to run in the background. Let's go back over here now. And ultimately, remember, I am hiring clippers. So if you guys are interested in becoming a clipper for BridgeMind, make sure you join our Discord community and make sure that you let me know that you're interested. We are hiring out clippers right now. Yeah, so Eper said it's a great project, but promotion is the hardest part when it comes to this type of project. 100%, yeah. Like, that's the thing that is the hardest. It's like, hey, you can build things easier than ever before, but one of the hardest things to do now is to be able to build in a way where, hey, you can build and then you can market it, right? Like, that's one of the most difficult things in the modern world is like, yeah, I mean, like, it's easier than ever before to build, but like with marketing, you've got to get creative with marketing, because marketing, if you're not creating content and stuff and not getting it in front of your target audience, then you're going to have a really, really hard time. I hate to break it to you. But let's just go GLM 5.1 and see what we can do here. I want you to look at BridgeCode and look at the styling of the file editor area. Note that it is not properly changing between the light mode and dark mode. Review this, pinpoint exactly what is causing this, and make sure that it does properly respond to light mode and dark mode. Okay, let's see this, and let's just see if this is working. And remember, guys, like, you guys are seeing the products that we're building. You guys are watching me build the products that we're building, right? Like, this is BridgeSpace that you guys are looking at. This looks good. Let me make sure my API key isn't revealed here over in this Codex window. I don't think it is, but let me just double check. Okay, it's not. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna add BridgeCode here. I need you to launch 4 subagents to do a deep dive on all of the code associated with the coding harness inside of BridgeCode. Do a deep dive with these subagents and output a complete summary with all of your findings about the BridgeCode coding harness. Okay, so I'm gonna drop this in, and then I'm gonna do another one. I need you to launch subagents to do a deep dive on all of the code associated with the planning mode inside of BridgeCode, and note that right now we do not have this functioning properly. We need to actually build out the logic associated with plan mode, which will be able to create a structured plan that is visible in the right area that has to-dos and different tasks and a breakdown of the plan. Review this in depth and help me build out the functionality for plan mode to do this. Yeah, marketing definitely has to be creative, yes. All right, so we're gonna launch another agent here and then another one. This one is gonna be launched on BridgeCode again. I need you to do an in-depth review of agent mode and output to me all of your findings. Don't update any code, just do an in-depth review and come back to me. All right, so we're gonna do that. Let's check up on our clips. Let's see where View Creator's at. Is it, okay, so it's now transcribing that 4-hour long video. So it downloaded it, now it's transcribing it. And guys, I deployed this yesterday, so this isn't just like running on my machine. This is the actual downloaded View Creator Studio. So if you guys are clippers, if you guys clip content on YouTube, make sure you get View Creator and download View Creator Studio. This is going to save you so much money, because anything that you do with clipping, like this is now one of the most affordable clipping tools on the market. Like I know that a lot of you guys aren't clippers or content creators, but just so you guys know, this right here is the most affordable, the most efficient clipping tool on the market. Nothing can compete. I've tried so many different platforms, and this is the best one. I built it. Okay, I'm back. What's up, Mohan? Isaiah the one said, distro is the hardest bottleneck to solve. Winners of tomorrow are faster with a tech background and a strong personal brand. Can literally build and ship faster than anyone else. 100%, yes. Yeah, 100%. Get OpenCode application. The UI is pretty good. I'll take a look at it. I haven't used it. I've used this here. Okay, also here's GLM 5.1 running inside of OpenCode. As you guys know, we definitely wanted to test this out. It turns out that you can't use GLM 5v Turbo even with a max coding plan with GLM. You can't even use that. That's insane. We're going to switch the model here, though, over to GLM 5.1 again. All right, GLM 5.1. All right. All right, also chat, I'm dropping in the Discord link as well. If you guys haven't already joined, make sure you do so. Here's the link. I'm going to pin it. There we go. Yeah, this is a lot better than Opus Clip. Like Opus Clip, if I wanted to create clips of that 4-hour stream that's working right now, this would literally take an hour inside of Opus Clip. And what you guys are going to see from View Creator Studio is that it'll create it very, very quickly and very efficiently, very affordable. And then we'll add all of those clips to our content bank, and they'll be posting on autopilot. So very, very good from that perspective. Okay. What is OpenCode? Some sort of agent harness. I'm new to that tool. Yes, so this is OpenCode. Here's BridgeCode. Okay, so we got some updates getting dropped in here. Probably from Codex. Here are our Codex agents working. You know what's interesting about the Codex agents is that it literally names the sub-agents, which is very interesting. Like if you guys go here and you look at this chat, it literally spawns sub-agents and it gives them names, right? Spawns Volta, spawns Jason, spawns Descartes, spawn Pascal. Very interesting. I'm gonna make an X post about that, but that's just interesting to me. Like it literally gives them names. I wonder why it does that. Am I using open source models for View Creator to clip locally? So it's actually not good to clip with open source models. You want to clip using like a better model like Gemini 3 Flash. That's what I use. But the thing is Gemini 3 Flash is very, very cheap. Hold on. Okay. So this is Codex. But why would you need speed if it's automatic? Also, why not use Cloud? That way crons can run the job so that each new content on a specific channel will be automatically clipped. So yes, there's a lot of issues that end up getting introduced when you go that route. So for example, it is very expensive because FFmpeg is massive and it gets very, very expensive when you're running it in the cloud. That's why Opus Clip is so expensive. To clip a 4-hour long video on Opus Clip costs about $40. So I think that like for people to understand like, oh yeah, like these clipping tools, they're very expensive, right? Like, and I've learned it from experience just in terms of like, yeah, like I've used all these clipping tools and I can tell you right now, View Creator is the best platform that I've used, probably just because I saw what was wrong with the other platforms and I was able to create a new platform for myself. But like I said, I don't think that I have a very great product market fit yet. I haven't found that marketing sweet spot Um, okay. Okay, Unimax said the top voted product on Product Hunt has like 100 upvotes. Yeah, Blue Cactus, it is a great data vibe code. Christiva said GLM 5v Turbo is available on the web interface too. Really strange that you don't get access with open code. Yeah, seriously, it's very, very weird. Unitmax said, do you use work trees or separate branches when having multiple agents running at the same time? I'm always a little worried of making them do conflicting changes if they all work on the same code base. So I do just give them different tasks, and it does like do a very good job in not causing issues with that. I will say I don't have many issues with them working on the same task. I give them different tasks. Here's a great benchmark for future build clip library of Artemis 2 9-day mission. Okay, that's interesting. Should I buy a Codex 100 or Claude 100 for coding? It really depends on what you want, right? Like with Codex, you're going to get a lot more usage out of Codex with that $100 than you would Claude, like by far. You're going to have a lot more usage, but you know, you will probably not get as good of results. GPT models just inherently aren't as good. All right, hold on. I'm making an X post right now, chat. One very important part of this whole journey is like the marketing is just so important. Like I just made this X post. Go follow me on X if you don't already. I'm going to drop it in the Twitch and the YouTube chat. Go check it out. Just on this Codex naming convention. It's very interesting. It names the agents, which is just interesting. The real provider path can execute tools twice and still fail to preserve tool result context. The adapter live execute handles and to generate text. Okay, let's let that work. This one here, let's see how this one's doing. Is that GLM 5.1 done? Okay, yeah. GLM 5.1 is pretty slow. You know, I've spent 61 cents. It's fairly slow. Do you read the code or do I just let agents do everything? Yeah, you don't need to read code anymore. The agents are at a level now where they're good enough to be able to build without you having to read the code. I think that, especially with the next set of models, the AI models that we're going to get in the next set of releases are going to be game-changing. If you guys thought that Opus 4.5 is good or Opus 4.6 is good, just wait for the next models that are going to be released. I've been in the space for over 3 years, and I've been around to see these jumps in improvement, and I can tell big things are coming. In the next set of models, the capabilities are going to be off the charts. I think that's what we're seeing with Mythos. It's what you guys see, you know, on X. Things are going to be really, really ticking up. Can do much better than GPT-OS 120B. There's some hot alpha for optimizing your DGX Spark if you look hard enough. You think so? Right now, I've got it set up with Qwen 3 Coder. It's a very fast model there. Okay, let's go over here. But like even this, okay, let's see, was it able to adapt this? Look at this, guys. It still has not properly finished this. And this was a pretty simple task. And that GLM 5.1 still not done with this task of making sure that this is responsive. Not a great, not very good for speed, I'll tell you that much. Okay, that does look a lot better. Man, it's just hard. It's hard to beat Claude Code, guys. I'm going to be honest. It's very hard to beat Claude Code. I just think it's... Like, what did this one do? This one was... Okay, this one was Claude Code. This one here... What is this one updating? The chat panel? Okay. Okay, this is building out the plan mode. Okay, so we're going to see how this does. Interesting. How's Codex these days? It's good. It's just hard to beat Claude Code because it's so much faster, you know? It's so much faster. I want you to do a deep dive on the Codex harness hold on. I want you to help me add in OpenRouter as a provider. Hold on. I want to be able to add in more providers to BridgeCode so that I can use more providers with BridgeCode. For example, it would be great to be able to set API keys and be able to use different things like OpenRouter or other models like that. Make it so that I can set the models respectively and set custom models in the settings so that I can select different models. Okay, that did not make any sense. Okay, hold on, guys. So this is what I'm trying to do. If we go to settings here, right now, we pretty much only have OpenAI via ChatGPT set up. So if we, for example, if we go here, let's just add the BridgeMind API, right? Hold on, I need to add, it's here. So it's right here. Let's say I add the BridgeMind API. Whoa. All right, right now I'm there. Did this finally update? All right, finally I did. Okay. All right, so right now I'm in HTML test, but if I look at BridgeMind API, you can see that it's right here. So I select this. The file tree updates there. I want you to do an in-depth review of this project and provide a summary and a list of improvements that we can make. Don't update any code. And then we'll just flip it over into like ask mode, for example. And then we'll send this off. And I really would like to improve the UI of all this. I'm not in love with the UI. Nikolak over on Twitch said I don't think he has the time to read code. I just don't think you need to read code anymore. It just is not really needed. Okay. Oops. Okay, so let's check this out. So you guys can see here, it's responding. This is like one of the biggest things that I want to work on today is just like the coding harness. I'm not in love with the coding harness, okay? I think it needs a lot of improvements here. Sound of Gaming says, my previous boss is anti-AI. He thinks AI can't do research and that AI coding isn't there yet. Here's my perspective. Today is the worst that AI will ever be at coding. It's getting a lot better, and I don't think that you can really, like, the rate of change in this space is absolutely exploding. And I think people need to understand that, like, hey, this is the future, and if you fall behind, it's not going to be good. You're going to get replaced by a Vibe coder, because people that are using these tools in their workflows are really, really capable, right? How can AI do in terms of cybersecurity for your users? So you can literally use AI to help you with cybersecurity. Like, for example, Mythos. Like, if you guys saw Mythos, they literally couldn't release Mythos because of how good it was at cybersecurity. So the thing is that goes both ways, right? You're going to have people that are using Mythos to hack into stuff, but then Mythos is also going to be able to help in finding vulnerabilities and patching vulnerabilities, right? So people say, like, right now, when I talk to people that I know in real life, that they don't even know that I do BridgeMind, they don't know that I'm a Vibe coder. I don't tell anybody. Nobody knows that I stream. So it is kind of funny. Everybody that I knew from college, anybody that I knew that I used to be friends with in my old life, and then I got into entrepreneurship, they don't know anything about me. They don't know what I do. I don't keep up with them, which is, you know, I just don't think that, like, the people that I used to be friends with, they're like in 9-to-5 jobs, working corporate jobs, and they'll be in like beginner positions for the next 5 years, right? And then they'll get a pay raise and whatever. And it's like, hey, I saw a couple of years ago the way that the world was headed with AI, and I was like, oh, obviously this is going to change everything. Let's get on that. And I did that, and it's worked out pretty well. But my point that I'm making is that I was talking to somebody that I knew from college, and they were like, oh, you can't vibe code because you're just gonna have a bunch of security flaws. And it's like, hey, that's actually not true. You can even see here, I have a security audit here. If you do audit reports and you do security audits on things, for example, this is an old one from February 3rd, but you can actually do a pretty good job of finding security threats and security vulnerabilities using AI. And this, I will say, I'm really liking the BridgeCode IDE so far. I really like this. Now, we do want to add in additional providers. Eper said, we are your real family and friends. Matthew, show us your code base once. That'll be the first time I'll see it. You'll see it too. Dude, shy not. Here's the code base. All right, hold on. Let's pull this up. Also, let's check up on the clip. Did the clips finish? Ooh, looks like I got an error in the clips here. Oh, it surpassed my... Oh, that's so annoying. Okay, so I need to... Wow, that kind of stinks. All right, so I need to improve my 11 labs. Hold on, let's just do this. Let's do a shorter clip. I'll clip that DGX video. But let's open up BridgeSpace, and I do want to pass in a task. Also, guys, if you guys haven't already liked the stream, make sure you do so. Right now, we've got, let's see here. We've got 111 likes and 281 people watching. So if you guys haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. But let's do this. This is fine. We need to add in the ability to connect to additional providers. For example, think through how we could make it so that users can use their OpenRouter API key and set a URL for and be able to connect to OpenRouter models. What would be the best approach for this? How does Cursor do this? How does OpenCode do this? Launch 3 deep dive agents and identify the best approach for this, and then create a structured plan around integrating this so that we can add in additional providers, not just the Codex CLI authentication. Okay. So we're gonna add in additional providers because I do wanna see what it's gonna be like to be able to add in like a fast model, because right now the only model that we're using is GPT 5.4 via the Codex off, right? Which is going to be very slow. So I want to add in additional providers and add in the ability for people to bring their own plans. Like, for example, could I make it so that I could bring in my GLM coding plan into BridgeCode? Yes, I could. So we're going to do that today and see what that looks like so that we add in additional providers and test this harness not just with the Codex CLI, but through additional providers as well. But let's try clipping this here. I'm gonna go over here, grab this video, and we're gonna clip this DGX Spark video and see what comes out of this. So we're gonna drop this one in, and we're gonna create shorts that are 30 to 60 seconds, and we're gonna create, let's just do 25 clips, okay? So we're gonna do 25 clips. The other one, it failed because I didn't have enough credits in my 11 Labs account to be able to complete the request. What do I think about Qwen 3.6 Plus for handling backend logic? I mean, it is a Chinese model, but it is like fairly inexpensive. Fairly inexpensive model, pretty fast, high context. 1 million in context is a lot. But if you have the ability to use like something like Opus 4.6, I would just use that personally. Okay, let's try plan mode now. Let's see if plan mode actually does work here. Okay, so let's do plan mode. So let's throw this in plan mode here. Okay, hold on. Also, let's fix this error here. See this one? This needs to be fixed. Were the Codex limits raised? They were not raised, but they were improved. I think they got reset yesterday, right? They got reset. I need you to review the screenshot here. Make this have a solid background. Right now, it's transparent and it's hard to read. Improve the styling of it using the front-end design plugin. Okay, we'll use the front-end design plugin on this. And then, okay, let's go over here. All right, let's put it in plan mode. I need you to review the project and identify any AI slop code that can be cleaned up and create a structured plan. For fixes. Yeah, so right now we're building our own IDE. Okay. So this is what it's doing. So do you guys see this? This is what we just built out. So this is the plan mode. We'll see what this does. We'll see what this does. This is plan mode. Very interested to see this. But like, do you guys see the streaming here? So this is the thinking tokens, right? Like this is the thinking, and I don't love it. What makes it different than Cursor? It's gonna be much cheaper. With Cursor, you get totally ripped off. That's the biggest issue that I have with Cursor. You know, I personally have like $14,000 of Cursor credits, right? And I get $5,000 a month, right? But the thing is it's like with Cursor, for the average consumer, Cursor is going to be very difficult to use because with Cursor, you just don't get the usage. Like, nobody is using Cursor as much anymore because you don't get the usage with Cursor that you would get with like a Codex plan or a Claude plan, right? So people don't really use Cursor anymore. But the thing is that Cursor is fantastic when it comes to like the UI and the IDE and the GUI. Like, it just is very, very nice. It's a very nice way to vibe code. So I like that part of it, but the problem is that when it comes down to other elements of Cursor, like the cost, it just kind of makes it like unusable, if that makes sense, right? So there are parts that I like, there's parts that I don't like, and definitely one thing that I don't like about Cursor that I don't think anybody really likes about Cursor is the pricing. It just doesn't make sense. It's not viable for most people. So yeah, I don't know. I'll probably lose those credits here soon, if you guys know what I mean. I'm a man of the people. I don't really care. Okay. Also, did you write it in Rust? Use Rust as the backend? Yes, I did. Okay. So here, okay, nice. Okay, so here's the plans. Okay, this is actually sick. So it was able to write a plan here with a goal, right? So here's the goal, but it wasn't able to properly set this. Do you guys see this? So here's the plan. It did a great job in creating the plan, but it needs to actually create like... Okay, we're gonna do a screenshot of this. So we're gonna pass this in. We're gonna try and improve this. Okay. All right, so it's in this Codex agent here. Let's drop this in, and let's copy this, paste this in as well. Oh my gosh. I don't think oh, there it is, okay. I need you to do an in-depth review with 3 subagents to review the functionality of plan mode. It looks really good in the chat, but as you can see from the attached image, it did not properly format it in that right sidebar, and we need it to. It needs to be displayed there in markdown format, in formatted markdown. Why did it not do this? It should be saving this as a temporary file so that we can see these plans in that right sidebar, not just in the agent chat. Review this in depth. You can see a screenshot of how Cursor does this for reference as well. So I'm kind of just going to take Cursor as a reference here and see if we can go over here, and let's just do this. I need you to create a structured plan for the fixes here. All right, so watch this, guys. So I'm going to have it create a structured plan. It'll ask me to switch to plan mode or not. Hold on, let's put it in plan mode. So if I put it in plan mode here, it's going to put it in this right sidebar, and I just like how it does that, right? I just like how it does that. You have Stitch from Google in beta for inspiration. This can be delivered code directly in prototype mode. Okay. I have not used Zed. Axel said, really important question on the ARR, $76,199. How many percentages comes from your community? So the ARR, it comes entirely from subscriptions to BridgeMind.ai and ViewCreator.ai. Not a dollar comes from any other source. It is all from the Stripe dashboard, the ARR in the title. Now, with that said, I am making a lot more money that is not included in the ARR, but the mission is not how much money I can make with the business as a whole in a bunch of different areas like partnerships or whatever. It's about the mission of being able to create a business and being able to actually build a SaaS that reaches $1 million in ARR. And right now we're at 76,000, and that's going to continue to go up. As you guys know, we do have a goal, $10,000 in MRR by May 31st. And I actually think we're going to beat this by a lot. Bumzor over on Twitch, what's up? So these are the goals. If you guys haven't seen these, I want to draw your attention to it. So $10,000 in MRR by May 31st. This is a very good goal. I think that we could potentially hit this, though, by the end of this month, okay? And why do I think that? So we're going to be launching a couple different products that I think are going to perform really well, and I am expecting some new frontier models, like, very soon from Anthropic and from OpenAI. It has been a couple weeks now, like literally 2 months. Think about this, when did Opus 4.6 come out? Was it February 3rd, right? Wasn't it February 3rd or something like that? It's been like 2 months now since we had a frontier model. Or maybe it was February 13th. Who knows when it was? It's been a while. So we're going to get new frontier models, and the thing that's really cool about it is that people know that BridgeMind, or what I do with building in public, they know that over any other influencer, one of the only creators and influencers that's in the space, showing up, live streaming, truly building every single day, is BridgeMind. Like, if you guys are out there and you watch other influencers like Alex Finn or these other influencers that aren't actually vibe coders, they're just content creators, right? Be very aware that, hey, I've talked to some of these people, and these creators, a lot of them are like snaky. And that was one of my first experiences when I first started getting in this space, because everything was blowing up, and I was actually talking to a couple different creators, and some of these guys are like snakes. Just like hearing them talk about, just hearing the way that they talked, I was like, oh wow, these guys are like snakes. So, I've experienced it, and really the approach that I want to take is completely transparent. I show the Stripe dashboard every time that we're on stream, and we'll continue to do that. Okay. I want you to review this in depth and create a structured plan for changes and updates that we can make to replicate this functionality. Okay, so we'll see if Codex can do this. This is Codex High. You're creating BridgeCode? Yes. Bumzor said a small bug on the ViewCreator pricing page. I am not logged in, and I can see manage billing under the get started button. That should not show unless logged in, as it shows no auth token if clicked now. Okay, gotcha. Okay, thank you, Bumzor. I appreciate it. Yeah, let me just launch another workspace here, and we'll do that. Also, guys, we do now allow for SSH connection. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but SSH connection is now available in BridgeSpace, which is very nice. Okay. Let's go over here now, and let's pull up. We're just going to launch the ViewCreator workspace. So this is the ViewCreator workspace. We'll launch this. Okay. Okay, let's restore this. I want you to review the... Oh, wait, hold on here. Review this bug report and update the code respectively to fix this. All right, thank you, Bumzor. I appreciate that. So we're going to fix this bug that he found. Submit that. Okay. Go back over here. Yes, we're going to proceed. So this is the, okay, perfect. Do you guys see this? So we have Open Router, Grok, Fireworks together. Perfect. Okay. So this is the build for adding in more providers. King Dynasty, hold on, let me read your message. King Dynasty said, I know I commented on your video, but I'm getting much quicker response times on my NVIDIA Spark than you are. Seems something is wrong with your config. Are you talking about, I think I saw your comment, it was about the Qwen 3.5. Wasn't your comment, didn't you mention, King Dynasty, that like it was because the model wasn't loaded or something? Because I think I responded to that, but the model was definitely loaded when I was testing it. But like, look at this. So I do have the Spark loaded, and you guys can see the response time here. Like, let's just try this real quick. I want you to build a single HTML file of a retro Space Invaders game, and then give me the URL to launch it locally in my browser. Okay, so watch this. So this is Qwen 3 Coder, 30 billion. This is a 30 billion parameter model that's running on the DGX Spark behind me. And like open source, I think it's going to get better. I got the DGX Spark so that we could start the bridge bench and start like benchmarking open source models. But these open source models, they are not as capable as frontier models. Like obviously everybody knows that, right? But for sure, you know, what I've seen is like, not only are they not as capable, but sometimes they're slower on local hardware. I mean, you can't compare it to like a data center, right? But on this, it's like, yeah, sometimes it's like, oof, you know, even the speeds here, you know, I'm running this, it's running on my machine right behind me, and this is a pretty fast model. This is one of the faster models. We'll see how fast it takes, you know, how slow it is or how fast it is to create this Space Invaders game. We'll come back to that one there. Also, did find the issues here and fix those. Let's go over here. This one's building out. This one's building out. Let's go to Codex here. Codex is also building out. Enter to submit all. What the heck? Okay. Should I get Codex 10x or Claude 5x? Probably the Codex 10x for usage, but Claude is better. I think Claude Code is better in my opinion. Have I tried Qwen 3.6 Plus? Yes, I have. I've also benchmarked it in BridgeBench. It's a good model, but it's a Chinese model, right? Like they're just not they're not trained on very great chips. They're not super reliable. But I mean, it is the Chinese models, the open source models are definitely getting better. All right. DJ Vision, what's up, man? Okay, Axel said, Matthew, and for the subscriptions you've gotten, what percentage comes from your existing audience community and what percentage comes from new people who didn't know you before? Well, the thing is like, first of all, there's no way to really tell that. Like, you can't really measure that, right? But second of all, what you should know is that, like, hey, the reason that there is, like, some success in these products is because of the marketing behind them. Right? So I don't think it's like, obviously there's a large number of people that are, you know, the marketing from BridgeMind is because we're building a brand, right? And the marketing, like, hey, for example, even if I pull up my X, I'll show this to you guys just so you guys have an understanding of like what the kind of numbers that I'm seeing on my end actually look like. Somebody said Opus 4.5 is actually better than Opus 4.6. In some instances, yes. But like, I'll show this to you guys because I think that you guys should know about this. But let me go over to my Creator Studio here, and I'll just go to my analytics on my X, for example, right? And I'll show you guys, like, hey, if you guys want to be a good vibe coder, if you guys want to get into SaaS, you need to be marketing. So look at this. This is my X account, right? Like, this is the last 4 weeks. Look. 350,000, 341,000, 90,000, 121,000, 173,000, 77,000 so far today. And this is what marketing looks like in 2026. You have to be marketing. And I could pull up my YouTube analytics as well. And the views, it's millions of views, right? Like, you have to be doing marketing. If you don't take marketing as serious as you take the actual building part, then you're probably going to fail. You're probably going to fail. I hate to break it to you, but like, yeah, you can't just build in silence and then expect anything good to happen, because that's just not how it works. That's not how building works. And I think building, like, you just have to be pushing out content in 2026, like, period. You just have to. You just need to. Okay, let's try this again. Let's go to this, and let's just say, let's go here. Let's go to agent, plan. I need you to create a structured plan. Whoa, okay, we have updates coming in, so things are refreshing. I need you to review the project and find any security vulnerabilities and create a structured plan. Okay, we're gonna have to give this a minute because what's happening is this one is updating, and so it's refreshing. We'll have to give it a minute. 100% on point, building is 20%, marketing at 8%, 100%, yeah. I'm the POV said, your site looks great, thanks. I appreciate that. Should you add a where did you hear about us when registering? That's actually a really good idea. Also, DJ Vision said any update on rate limiting. So here's what I'm experiencing on the Claude rate limits. It's totally fine on like weekends and stuff, but during that, you know, that period where they've even said this, during the higher volume periods, like during the day, they're rate limiting heavily. I mean, I got rate limited yesterday twice on my 5-hour limit, and that never used to happen, and it still doesn't happen. All right, it looks like this is done. So now if we pull up BridgeCode, we're going to be able to see when I go over to this, cloud providers, so I can now connect to OpenRouter. Look at this. Okay, this is actually going to be super sick, chat. You guys are seeing it here first. So let me see. Let me pull up OpenRouter and grab an OpenRouter key. I have not done this, but we'll be able to actually connect to like Opus 4.6 now. All right, let me grab an API key. API keys. All right, so I'm going to send an API key. This one's going to be called BridgeCode local. I'll just do this. Okay, so I do have an API key now. All right, I'm going to paste my API key in here. All right, I just pasted my API key. Oh, wait. Oops. Hold on. All right, I don't know what happened there. Okay, let's go. All right, this is actually sick. Okay, so it literally says OpenRouter is now connected. Oh, wow. Look at this, guys. So OpenRouter is connected, and then I can just toggle this on? No way. All right, let's try to use GLN 5.1. All right, let's try this. Let's try this, chat. If this works, that's going to blow my mind. Hello there. What model are you? ISZ, what's up? Let's go! Let's go! All right, we got it hooked up to OpenRouter. That is actually sick. Okay, this is sick, chat. No, but what model actually are you? Like the model powering BridgeCode, what are you? This is so sick. Ah, invalid response. What model are you? Okay, now I'm getting invalid. Okay, why is this happening? Let's figure out why this is happening. Would you review this? I just hooked up OpenRouter and I am getting this error now. Would you add better logging? Also, make sure that you always protect the sensitivity of API keys. Never show API keys or anything in logging or on the screen, unless the user explicitly clicks an eye icon to show them. Oh, what the heck? How did I already spend $170 through that API key? Whoa, what the heck? $300. What the heck? $400. What is happening? Hold on, guys. Whoa, $600. What is happening? Did somebody get my API key? Hold on here. Oh, I'm getting a call. What the heck? $800. Okay, hold on. I need to turn off auto. Oh my gosh. Hold on, guys. This is bad. This is bad. Hold on. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm getting a call. I gotta take this one. I gotta take this. Hello, this is Matthew. Sam, no. Okay, listen. I know you have the API key, okay? What? I leaked it in the chat? What are you talking about? What do you mean I leaked the key in the chat? You're using it right now? Okay, I'm gonna rotate it. I'll rotate it. No, I don't think anybody in the chat saw it. I don't think anybody in the chat saw the key. Why would you use the key and use $1,000 on it? Okay, I just rotated it. Okay. All right, Sam, you can't use the key. Okay, you're gonna have to repay. Yes, I'm using Codex today. I got the 20 racks before the stream. I'm literally using Codex on stream. So, I mean, I'll keep using Codex if you give me like another 20 or 30 racks. But I mean, I don't know what else to do other than I rotated the key. But geez, like, don't use the key next time. If I just let me know that I leaked it in the chat. Like, geez, chill out. Yeah, I'll talk to you after the stream. All right, sounds good. See ya. All right, sorry about that, guys. We are back. Had to take a call there. Yeah, did anybody see anything in the chat? I don't. Yeah, I don't know what happened. The key just started running up crazy expenses there. I don't know what happened. All right, so let's see here. It looks like this is invalid responses to API. So OpenAI SDK. Okay, it looks like this is fixed. Let's see if this renders in properly. Also, with View Creator, did this work? Let's check the history real quick. Nice. Okay, guys, so these are the clips that we generated using View Creator Studio. For example, one thing I learned is that you actually cannot cook an egg on a DGX Spark. Obviously, when you initially buy a DGX Spark, that's one of the first things that you want to do with it is cook an egg, but that's actually not possible. All right, let me see. So I should be able to select all of these and then add them to a content bank. So I should be able to just add them to a content bank here, and it's going to be able to add these to that content bank. And then we'll see. All right. So uploading 6 out of 25. We'll see if this upload does go through properly. Okay, so one thing that I want to keep my eye on here. Okay, nice. Perfect. Okay, so check this out, chat. So this is how View Creator works. Like I said, 20 cents to clip 25 clips. This is the most affordable tool on the market for clipping. Everybody that is a part of the BridgeMind clipping team is going to get a free account to View Creator, okay? It's so cheap to clip. 20 cents. That's insane. Raiden, what's up? How's it going? But yeah, let's see the transcriptions. As you guys remembered, earlier this week, we changed the transcription to move from, I was using Grok. It was Grok, and it was Whisper V3 Large Turbo. And the error rate on that is about 4.3%. But we changed that. We refactored it over to use the 11 Labs like Scribe. And that has an error rate of like 2.2%, right? So we cut the error rate down just by changing the model. And hopefully the transcriptions are higher quality. They are transcribing right now. They haven't transcribed yet. Let's see. They're still uploading. So let's go over here. Yeah, still uploading. Transcript's still processing here. Oh, it looks like the transcript here did process though. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, that's so many clips. So for example, this one right here. So the future of local models, I can see the transcript right here. That is the way that things are headed, and I want people to understand that. Like, frontier models will always be frontier models. By the time that we have a model running locally on our machine that's as good as the current Opus 4.6, we are going to have models that are like Mythos, that are just absolutely insane, running at 100 tokens per second, that are just blowing your mind, right? So open source in running locally on your machine is always going to be a step behind. But the thing is I do believe that with the right hardware, you will actually be able to get some really powerful models running locally on your machine. So this is the start of my journey with open source models. Okay, cool. All right, so the transcription is working for that. For example, can you cook eggs on a DGX Spark? So, I mean, yeah, I'm looking at the transcript here, and when you initially buy a DGX Spark, so it looks good. Like, there are going to be errors with transcription. You're not always going to get, like, it's not going to be perfect, right? Like, there will always be, to some extent, like, that error rate. But, I mean, to be able to clip 25 clips in how long? How long did it take? Let's check the can I check the history? How long did it take to clip this? It doesn't say. Okay, it actually does say. So 509 seconds, right? So under 10 minutes to get 25 clips from a video that's over 20 minutes long. This is faster than Opus Clip, and it's about it's like a 20th of the cost. That is insane. 20 cents. 20 cents, guys. That's crazy. That is insane. And these are all good to go. So then I can go over here, and I can go to this. Actually, did this just run? I think it's about to run, isn't it? 1:15. Okay, so let's run the agent right now, and let's just make sure. So it's going to grab a clip. What clip did it grab?
For example, one thing I learned is that you actually cannot cook an egg on a DGX Spark. You know, obviously, when you initially buy a DGX Spark, that's one of the first things that you want to do with it is cook an egg. But that's actually not possible. But in this video, I'm going to show you everything that you need to know about the DGX Spark and about open source models. Is obviously these open source models are continuing to get better and better, and we are able to run better models locally on local hardware. So with that being said, if you have not joined the BridgeMind Discord community, this is the fastest growing vibe coding community on the internet.
That's very good. So we'll see. This agent is going to run here. We'll see. It's going to get posted to YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And we'll be able, like, literally right there, 5,000 views, right? And this is a big part of the, yeah, that clip is very goofy, not gonna lie. It is, yeah, with the, it's like it's meant as a clip, right? Like with the DGX Spark, like it's meant for that, right? But definitely interesting there. Okay, let's now check this out. Let's pull back up BridgeCode. It looks like the process did fail here. Let me see this over here. Okay, let's see this. All right, so BridgeCode, let's sign in. Okay, so we're in. Let's go new agent. And let's just use GLM 5.1. Okay, we definitely need to fix this dropdown. This dropdown looks terrible. Review this. I need you to fix the styling of this dropdown, the model dropdown selector, customize it, update it to match the theme, make it more compact, make it have a scroll, and improve the styling of it using the front-end design skill. Only Etta said, yo, I'm back. That's a good clip. Yeah, exactly. Only as a clipper. So Christiva said, amazing, such a good clip. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be good, right? It's like, hey, at the end of the day, what you guys are seeing with View Creator is this weekend, like this stream, you guys can tell it's a little bit more chill today because, hey, there's so much work that needs to be done off stream This stream is going to be a 3-hour stream. And what I want to do in this stream is we're going to make some progress on BridgeCode. But after the stream, I need to create so many accounts because that's the distribution strategy. Okay, apparently Anthropic is considering designing its own AI chips to reduce dependence on NVIDIA. Oh, wow. I mean, they're going to need to with those rate limits. But yeah, like, I think that's one thing that a lot of people miss is that, hey, you have to be able to do the marketing. And like, it's a big part of this journey. Like, hey, if you guys don't do the marketing, well, you already lost, right? Like, if you don't market your product, it's already over, you know? Review the screenshot. It still doesn't match the theme. And also, it's still a little bit transparent. Notice how there's a little bit of bleed. There's text that's bleeding through. Fix the Z-index and the transparency of the background and fix the styling. Does the UI UX Pro Max skill work with Codex? Only I tend to said, I saw a dude with 10 SaaS apps and he posts 1,000 TikTok clips a day. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's the ultimate goal, right? Is that, hey, if you can clip for a penny a clip, and you can figure out how to completely automate that. Like, what if we had View Creator where it literally had agents that were running cron jobs to pick up new content from the main channel, right? Like, that's the way that that's headed. But very, very interesting, in my opinion. Yeah, Isaiah the one said a product with no marketing is like a gun with no bullets. 100%, yes. Yeah, so let's see here. Let's go back over to Codex. So it's going to add an additional MD file. Let's test this. So now we have different providers that you can connect to. So cloud providers, OpenRouter, Fireworks, Grok together. And then you can also just add in your own custom provider. This here, the model selector, like this, why is this offering so many models that like just aren't even, okay. This is offering a lot of models that we don't actually offer. Review the model selector. Right now, we only are offering users to be able to connect to the GPT models that are accessible via the Codex CLI auth. Remove the others. Yeah, there's a bunch that are being added that just aren't there. Hunk said your competitors are posting 1,000 TikToks a month. It's a numbers game. 100%, yes. Yeah. Like, that's the big thing. Like, in the grand scheme of things, what you guys see with BridgeMind, I've only been doing this for like 8 months now, right? 8 months of doing this. And that is not a very long time to be doing this. In my last startup, it took us a year to get to market, right? And with BridgeMind, it has not been like that, right? But the thing is that after doing BridgeMind for a year, I would like to get to the point where the clipping strategy, the distribution strategy of clips via View Creator needs to be much bigger. Levi said, I'm new to the stream. What are your marketing strategies? A lot of people ask that, and it's like, hey, like you're hearing it right now, right? Like it's clipping, it's content creation. Like if you're not creating content, I don't know what you're doing. So for example, this year, we just clipped this video and created 20 clips, right? So we just created 20 clips using this, and we just uploaded it to the content bank. And now the content bank has all these clips in it that are posting and publishing, right? So that's great, right? It's perfect. And I use View Creator for that. So if you guys are interested in doing that clipping, you need to get a View Creator subscription. If you guys use any other clipping software like Opus Clip, that you are getting overbilled. I can promise you that. Like I used Opus Clip for a while, and it's just so expensive. It's insane. Ooh. Okay. What coding languages did I learn first and then later on? So I started with CSS, HTML, JavaScript. I feel like that's typical, right? And then, okay, perfect. So those are now removed. Okay, let's pull up BridgeCode. All right. Here it is. And now the model selector. Okay, there we go. Now we're not getting that bleed through. Okay, so here is the Codex models, okay? And then here is the custom, okay? So here's GLM 5.1 via OpenRouter. Hello there, are you hearing me? What model are you? Okay, and I think we got an error last time we ran this. Let's see. I think we're putting too much in the system prompt for this. The coding harness is too much in the coding harness. I want you to create a plan for a HTML file that is a Space Invaders game, a single HTML file with a retro Space Invaders game. Okay, then let's do plan. Okay, now this is the plan mode. This is what we're building out with Codex, but then now it says invalid responses API. Why is that happening? So it worked for the first request, but now it's not working. You guys see this? What's causing this? Review these logs. Note that it worked for the first request, but then it threw these errors for the second request. Review and figure out what is happening. All right, you see this? So it literally works for this first request, and then for the second request, it fails. Okay, let's try this. Okay, Valsev in the chat said, I don't have the time to create and upload content across all platforms. I'd like to have something where I can put all raw content and the AI is creating different content formats ready to upload. Will ViewCreator be the right product for me? Yes. So that's exactly what ViewCreator was meant for. Literally like spot on. Because you just upload it to the content bank and you create the agent to run at a particular set time, and it just pulls that content from the content bank, creates the metadata for you, and posts to all platforms, so you'd never have to actually create the content yourself and post it yourself. It's all automated, and it's incredible. I've used it to generate over 2 million views in the last 6 months, so it works. It's just that I don't really have a great marketing outlet for it, unfortunately. Eper says, BridgeCode looks fire. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. One thing that I really do like about BridgeCode as well is the terminals that are in BridgeCode are very, very nice. Like, look at this. I just run Claude right here. You can run Codex. Just normal terminals. You can obviously run Claude. You can run Codex. Boom, boom. And you can manage them all right here. Let's try something here. All right, let's copy this. Would there be a way to name the terminals instead of them just being ZSH? For example, if I launch Claude in one of the terminals, it'll say Claude. If I launch Codex in one of the terminals, it would say Codex. Also, would there be a way to be able to organize the terminals based off of which directory the terminal is running in on my machine, review and create a structured plan of this and implement accordingly? Would you do an in-depth review of our agent harness? And note that I think that our agents are running a little bit slow. Well, GLM 5.1 is slow anyway, so How to become a clipper for BridgeMind or View Creator. Just join the Discord. Let me know that you're interested. We do have Itetna is he's been the first person to join the clipping program. So just join and then we'll talk. I'll do weekly meetings with clippers. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this here. These two agents are running. I will say Codex is doing a pretty good job for me today. Okay, so this is nice. We're gonna improve that there. Also, let's initialize Git into this. Let's actually launch another Codex window, and I'm kind of starting to get the flow of things today. I need you to launch 3 subagents that will do an in-depth review of BridgeCode, do a deep dive, and note that we want to build in the functionality to initialize Git and actually have Git tracking inside of the workspace. Would you do an in-depth review of the project and identify the best way that we could implement this? All right. So we're gonna launch some subagents here. I drink like a triathlete, yeah. Yeah, yesterday I went for a 20-mile bike ride and then a few miles on the run. And it was good. You know, that's the biggest thing. Like, I am looking forward to this weekend. I'm going to put out some content this weekend. I'm not going to be streaming because I really need to focus in on some work that I can't do on stream. So I'm going to use the weekend to just absolutely lock in. I'm going to put out some content. But I have some really exciting things that are coming up into the pipeline that I think are going to drive MRR to that goal, $10,000 goal. We're aiming for that, and I do think that we're going to be able to hit it potentially by the end of April. I think it's possible, guys. I really do think that we could hit $10,000 before the end of April. Does clipping pay really well? I mean, it depends on what country you live in, right? So many clip opportunities. I really see them on the feeds. Yeah. Somebody said, yeah, that's a viral clip right there, responding to Valsev. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, guys. Like, okay, Isaiah said, that's the exact use case of View Creator. Create viral clips at scale. 50% off currently. Let me know what. If you, oh, also, guys, like, I am going to have, like, affiliate programs, ways that you guys can earn commissions. So there's, like, a ton of things coming where it's like, we've got so much work to do. Hung said, set my SHRC alias CSC equals Claude with dangerous skip permissions or flag Codex with yellow tag, much more convenient. Yeah, Isaiah, the one you need to have the role to have access to the channels. Yeah, Blue Cactus. I always use dangerously skip permissions. I have it set on by default. So if you guys didn't know this, if you guys look down here, bypass permissions is on. You can set this in your Claude Code so that it's just always on. I never have permissions enabled. Yeah. Okay, nice. Nice. Okay, these ones are still working. I would love to make it, this is another thing that I'd like to get done today. I mean, we could ship BridgeCode like as soon as like next week. I'm not even kidding. Like, I think that we'll be able to ship this very, very quickly. The question is, we should probably launch it with the affiliate program too. But I think BridgeCode is probably going to be able to attribute maybe an additional 3,000 to 5,000 MRR. How do you get free API with high RPM? I mean, you kind of get what you pay for. Snapshots, how do you roll back Git? Yes. Yeah. But guys, one thing with like clipping and stuff is that if you guys want to become a clipper for BridgeMind, and this is if you guys want to work with me, if you guys want to work for BridgeMind, the biggest way to get a job is to prove your worth in upfront, right? Like if somebody comes to me and just says, I'll clip for you, it's going to be hard for me to know if that person's legit. But if you come and you've already created all of the channels and you've already started posting content, then obviously you're going to get the role immediately. Like it's hard to say, oh, I want to be a clipper. Like, just go and create the channels and start clipping, and I'll give you the clipper role, and I'll start paying you. You know, it's like that with anything. Like, if you're a Vibe coder, build something that works, and I'll give you the job. At least that's how I do hiring. Okay, the real latencies are, okay, let's create a structured implementation plan for this, and then proceed. Okay, create a structured implementation for this and begin working. Okay, done. So these, I mean, Codex is pretty good today. Perfect. Let's go. All right, so you guys can see the plans coming in. So add a persistent plan. Second model IPC. Okay, good. Okay. I need you to launch a swarm of 10 subagents to do a complete deep dive on BridgeCode and identify performance improvements that we can make to significantly improve the performance of BridgeCode. Okay. I mean, we could probably... Okay, we'll do this. If we pull this up, though, and we pull up BridgeCode, one thing that I want to show you guys is, hey, when it comes down to the user feedback while the agent is actually working, hold on, let's fix this. What caused this issue? Fix this. I'm not using extra high, no. I think extra high actually is more prone to hallucination, and it's kind of just takes too long. It's a little bit overkill in my opinion. All right, we got 10 agents running here. Okay, how can we make it so that this doesn't happen, though? Hold on, that's... Oh, no. Alright, nice. Alright, we have 10 agents running. They're swarming through the BridgeSpace code base. Nice. Alright, this one here, BridgeCode, nice. Okay, I need to go to my whole history. Okay, also guys, a lot of you guys ask me about the front end like skills and stuff. So I'm creating a channel that's more so for like tutorials and stuff, if that makes sense, like tutorial videos and actually like training on how to vibe code. I need you to update the thumbnail but for this video. So I actually made a video this morning. It's called How to Build Better UI with Claude Code. And that one is about to release on Vibe Academy. I'll drop a link here in a second. It's literally a 3-minute long video. And my goals with these videos is to basically teach people how to vibe code in a very simple, organic way. Like a lot of these like people that are content creators, they'll make it like super complex and stuff. They'll be like, and then do this, and then do this. And it's like they're not actually vibe coders. So what I try and do, my approach on it is just a very quick, authentic ways to be able to build with AI tools. So let's actually publish this now. So this is the video, how to build better UI with Claude Code. This is the thumbnail for it. Okay. Okay. No, not made for kids. Science and technology, perfect. That's fine. All right. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, I'm gonna just set this as public right now. So this is going live right now on Vibe Academy. I'll give you guys the link in the Twitch and the YouTube chat. All right, and the YouTube chat. All right, but yeah, go check out this channel. Here's a link. It's 3 minutes long. How to build better UI with Claude Code. Very simple video. Okay. Let's now check this out. Let's go over here. I need you to create a structured plan to build out a single HTML file of a retro Space Invaders game. All right, let's put it in plan mode. All right, let's see if this plan mode actually works though, right, chat? So, nice. Okay, so you guys can see now, it's putting this in a BridgeCode plans, and then it's a temporary file here. And let's just see how, so this is GLM 5.1 inside of BridgeCode via Open Router, and we'll just see how this functions. We'll see how it works. Okay, it didn't work. Invalid prompt. Okay, obviously there's an issue with the coding harness here. What is the error that I got here? Why did it happen? Fix this. I do build the backends myself, yes. I think building really simple mobile or handheld games that maybe you played when you were a kid is an awesome way to get into vibe coding. Yeah, that's true. Also, big shout out to Mute the App. I appreciate all your help, man. Thank you. Okay. Okay, let's switch the music up. This music is not doing it for me, chat. I'm gonna be honest. Okay. This one's gonna solve our issue. Reply and comment in 1 to 5 words to all replies on this post in a simple and concise way. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. So let's see if we can get this working now. That looks good. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing. 5.1. Plan mode first. This looks like a lot like JetBrains Air. That's cool. Nice. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, this is actually what I've been wanting it to do. Do you guys see how it's now? Let's go. It's actually doing what I wanted it to do. Okay, this is sick. This is so sick. Okay, do you guys see now how it's like showing what it's actually doing? So this is exactly what I've been wanting it to do. I don't like the UI of it. We're gonna make this like so simple. Do you guys see how this is in? Oh my gosh. Okay, this is so sick. Okay, there we go. Okay. Do you guys see how it's in like these containers though? It doesn't need to be in these containers. Like it. Okay, here's the plan. You've got to be kidding me, chat. This is so sick. What? Chat, what the heck? Let's go. All right, this is actually sick. So here's our plan. And then I should be able to just click build. Wow, this is actually pretty good. Yeah, it's showing the reasoning chain. So like that's what I was trying to do yesterday, but this is the first time that we've actually seen it happen. And it even has a list of to-dos. Oh my gosh, chat. Let's go. Let's go. This is sick. All right, and I hope it says, if it says build when it's done, I'm gonna lose my mind. We definitely need to improve the design. We're gonna launch like a swarm of AI agents here in a second. Okay, hold on here. We lost the markdown. Okay, it was working correctly, and then once it finished, then we lost it. Okay, I want to do a couple things. This is, okay, chat, this is actually big progress for us. I'm happy about this. The first thing I'm gonna do here is I am gonna drop into Bridge Space. We're gonna use the Claude instance here, and we're just gonna drop it into this one here. Let's copy this. Okay, let's drop this in here. Codex has actually been crushing it for me today, guys. I need you to launch 2 sub-agents with the front-end design plugin. Review the screenshot of how the agent outputs what it's doing here. Would you remove the background and how it has this big blocky borders and literally make it way simpler? Look at the second image here for reference of what I want it to look like. Image number 3. Okay, so this is one that I'm actually gonna, I really like what Cursor does for this. So watch this. If I do a new agent here, I want you to review this project and come back to me with a summary. All right, so look at this. You guys see how it says planning next move? So this one I'm gonna try and get. Hold on, it may just do it in the sub agent. We'll look at the sub agent and I'll show you guys what I'm trying to do here with it. So let's open up the sub agent. So it says planning next moves. And then, yeah, like right here. You guys see that? Like this is, yeah, that's way better. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So let's copy this. Check out image number 3 and 4 and note how it says planning next moves and how it just has a simple view, plain text that shows me what it's doing instead of big blocky ugly styling. Update the styling accordingly based off of these references. Okay, so we're gonna try and improve this. I dropped in images that it's gonna need as reference. How much our API costs, because I can see you're using like 10 terminals with agents. It's actually not that much. Like I could get by with a $200 Claude Max subscription. Okay. I see a crazy gamer. How long would it take me to build all BridgeMind products with manual coding? I don't know. Probably a very long time, though, to be honest. I wouldn't have been able to do it with manual coding, personally. I would not have been able to build it, so. Also, here is our Space Invaders game that was created with Qwen 3 Coder running on the DGX Spark. So if you guys are interested in this, this is the Qwen 3 Coder that we had running on the DGX Spark. Let's check this out. So this, I had, like I said, DGX Spark right behind me here. We ran it on this. Let's see how it functions. Woo. Do I get to go to level 2, though? The levels, I wish the levels would get harder, but... I mean, it is functional. What happens when I actually do get hit by a bullet, though? Nothing happens? Oh, I did. I had 3 lives. So that was created using a 30 billion parameter model, Qwen 3 Coder 30B, on my DGX Spark, and obviously, like, hey, if you run this through Opus 4.6, the output that you would get is just like absolutely insane. But what is interesting is like I wouldn't need Wi-Fi to run this. Like I could run it on a plane, you know, which is cool. But that's what we're seeing like from a DGX Spark. That is, if you go to BridgeBench, so bridgebench.ai, and you go to the DGX Spark bench, I benchmarked that model this morning. It actually is very fast. It runs at 82 tokens per second. Very fast. And it also does pretty well on hallucination. It does well on code generation. You can see it passed 85% of the tasks. Reasoning, not a great reasoning model. It places fourth there. And then instruction following, it actually followed 80% of the instructions. So you guys can see the tests here. Pretty interesting results for sure. Okay. Let's pull this up. Where are we at here? All right, so these two agents are still running. Let's figure out what happened to our plan though too. Ooh, I think we lost it. Are you vibing music and code? Yes, I am. I am an artist. I don't know if you guys knew that, but okay. Oh yeah, I did update this. I still don't like this big blocky. I still don't like that big block. I'm still not a fan. Look at the screenshot. Do you see how there's still that white border? Once it finishes running, it should just collapse that. Allow users to open that up if they want to see it, but it shouldn't just have this big white background on it. Review that and improve the styling for it and the logic of it. Ooh. Yeah, so Sir Dave said, first time here, do you have experience with coding before? Yeah, so if you guys didn't know this, I've been a software developer since I was a teenager. I started coding when I was a teenager, got into it a little bit, and then when I was in college, I was 20 years old. That's when I actually started coding every single day. That's when I read the textbooks that you guys see behind me, and that's when I basically went all in. I dropped out of school, and I got into startups and entrepreneurship, and I went all in, and it's worked out well for me. So definitely wouldn't change anything. All right, so you can see now this is what it looks like. So you guys see how it's just much simpler. So let's see what this looks like. Let's do GPT 5.4. Let's try GPT 5.3 Codex. I need you to do an in-depth review of the project and output any findings that you see for improvements that we can make. All right, so thinking through your request. So that's no longer like big and like just like blocky. Let's see how this one functions though. So it says thinking through your request. I feel like we could definitely speed this up. Okay, so do you guys see this though? The formatting here isn't great. Like it streams back. Is this it thinking? Okay, we're gonna go to this one. Check this out. This is a response from the GPT 5.3 Codex model. Note that it's outputting this in big blocks together with no formatting. Figure out why this is happening and make it better. It's just like it doesn't look good. Do I like 5.4 more than 5.3 Codex? Yeah, you should be using 5.4. You should be using 5.4 over 5.3 Codex. I don't know why they haven't released 5.4 Codex, but oh. But yeah, do you guys see how it's just outputting it all there? I don't like that. Command N will give you a new agent. So if you're just hanging out here, Command N. I love that. That looks so good. I want this mic icon removed. Place it with an up arrow for sending the message. Opus 4.6 was nerfed due to demand, but Opus 4.5 does not seem to be hit. That's what a lot of people are seeing. Is that true? Mute the yap. I have a question for you. Where are you seeing that? Like, is there any good references, good examples of that you're seeing? Because a lot of people are saying that. That'd be great to do an X post on and cover it. But like, if we go to Opus 4.5 on OpenRouter, so Opus 4.5 is running on Anthropic servers at 36 tokens per second, and Opus 4.6 is running at still, you're at that 36 tokens, yeah, 35 tokens per second. Is the design button you did a few days ago now working? Yeah, it is. So check this out. So let's pull this up. Yeah, so check this out, guys. It's actually pretty cool. So what you can do inside of BridgeCode is it basically, this is inspired by agentation. So if we zoom in a little bit here, check this out. So we can actually go into, do I have this running? Let's see. I don't know if I have it running. Well, let's just launch a terminal in here because you can. All right, perfect. So let's cd into BridgeMind. Actually, no, let's do BridgeBench UI. All right, so check this out. So it's going to start up, and now we can go over here, and now you're able to render in a browser inside of this, okay? And what I want to do is I want to reference something, and I'm pretty sure when I click this, doesn't it just say, okay, yeah. All right, so look at this, guys. Insights on AI coding. I want to improve the copy of the content here. Use Vibe Coding instead of AI coding, and just say the official BridgeBench Vibe Coding blog or something like that. So I can drop this in, and it starts up a new chat, and it drops in all of that HTML. It's very, very cool. Why am I not using a VS Code framework for your IDE like Cursor, Windsurf, Hero, etc.? It's better to customize. So I don't really want to customize a fork. I just want to create an agent window, and we've actually already gotten like pretty far in terms of we just want this agent window. We don't really want to build VS Code, but like for example, and look at this. We have the IDE built in. It works very well. It's very nice. All right, this one's also still working. Cursor is getting worse. What's your use case with it? I can tell you an alternative workflow and save you $20 a month unless you want to max out the remaining tokens. Yeah, Cursor, why do you think Cursor is getting worse? Also, this isn't Cursor. This is BridgeCode. Okay. Refreshed. Oh, that's cool. CD. This is so sick. Okay, so you guys see this? So now, when you're working in terminals inside of BridgeCode, it literally will have the different project directories that you're in, right? So for example, if I cd into BridgeMind, and let's say I run Claude here. It literally says Claude, right? Which is sick. Let me make it so that I can do plus icons here as well. All right, so I want plus icons, and I also want drop-down icons there. All right, we're gonna do Claude. I'm pretty sure it was, which one was it? It was, which one was it? Oops. Make it so that I can click a plus icon in the terminals here and also have a chevron icon up and down so I can collapse certain workspaces of terminals and have the plus icon at the workspace level so I can open up an additional terminal inside of that workspace. Very simple. Thank you. Okay, DJ said, does the file area have find plus replace all functionality? I can integrate that. Thank you, DJ Vision. Let's build that in. So I'll use Codex for this. And literally, I'll just drop this in. This is a request from a user. Review what they're asking about, and if it doesn't exist, build it in with best practices. All right, shout out to DJ Vision. Thank you, man. Okay, mute the yap just dropped in. Yeah. Who is this guy? I want to wash my car. The car wash is 50 meters away. Should I drive or walk? Wait, what is he? What's the point that he's making? Walk, it's only 50 meters. Should I drive or walk? Oh. I get it. Oh, that's actually such a good example. That's such a good example. So do you guys see this guy? So he literally is saying that it's the prompt is I want to wash my car. The car wash is 50 meters away. Should I drive or walk? And Opus 4.6 said to walk, but you can't walk to the car wash. You need to drive to the car wash to wash your car. And his point here is that, hey, Opus 4.5 got that right. That's so interesting. That's actually really, really interesting, chat. Wow. That's the new strawberry hallucination test. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Hey, look who's in the chat. NS, what's up, man? DJ Vision said, another suggestion, could you make a recent folder button instead of having to CD into everything? Yes. Wait, but, okay, look at this, though. I think that's a good recommendation, but look at this. It holds it here for you. Do you see this? So you have these workspaces. So this is kind of like the Codex app approach and the new Cursor 3 approach. So rather than opening up, like it literally will. So these are the workspaces that I've worked inside of using BridgeCode. Do you see this? So I've worked inside of Vibe Academy. I've worked inside of View Creator. I've worked inside of BridgeMind. And respectively, when you click on these different ones, it's going to, like, for example, if I go to, hold on, that doesn't work right now. I can open this up, and depending on what, like, watch this. If I go into this one, it's going to change over to View Creator. See this? So View Creator is open there. Let's make sure I can open up multiple of these. I mean, I love the UI here. The UI is... I'm like the... what about from terminals plus area auto CDs? Can you include in BridgeCode a button to change the reasoning in a way to see how much context is used in a conversation? Gaku, that's a great rec. Let's drop that in and see. Guys, this is what it's all about. If you guys like, if you guys could provide recommendations. Big shout out to Gaku and to DJ Vision. Gaku, also, I'm going to give you a moderator here on YouTube. You've been really, really helpful in the Discord. I've seen your bug reports, and thank you so much. Okay, a button in BridgeCode to be able to see, to change the reasoning. Review this request from a user. I really like what they said about how much context is used in the conversation. Let's think through that one and help me think through a approach for this. Then build out the implementation. Coding always seems like a waste of time. Oh, CDing. Oh my gosh, I said that you said coding. Okay, CDing always seems like a waste of time. Okay, wait, what's your point? So look at what we built. So in the terminals now, let's say I have, oh, I think I see what you're saying. So now we have this button, so I can just click plus. So it's similar here, right? So I have this opened up, right? And here I can just open up new terminal, or I can open up one from scratch. And here I can, for example, I can CD over into View Creator. And once I CD over View Creator, let's say I launch Claude inside of View Creator here. Then it says Claude here, and then I can just open up terminals. Oh, whoa, you see that? So look at this. How did you get this UI? What model did I use? Did you use reference from another app? I used the Claude Opus. I used Claude Opus 4.6 with the front-end design skill. I'm glad that you guys like it. Okay. All right, there is definitely a bug there that I don't like. I'm gonna use Codex for this. When I open up a new terminal by clicking the plus button in BridgeCode from the terminal workspace, it should always open up another terminal in that file directory. Right now, there's an error in that functionality. I want you to review it and make sure that when I click the plus icon in that terminal area, it should open up a new terminal that is automatically opened up inside of that directory. Like you could have a BridgeMind recent folder there and click it, and it would send auto send CD commands to the terminal. You're making an IDE? Yes. It's a Vibe Coding IDE. It's like recents here. Okay, I see what you're saying. So when this is fresh, let's say, it should save these. Yeah, like this. Like, okay, so it just restarted, right? Because we just had some updates going. So this is a good example. So you go to terminals. Maybe we could have it auto save. Let's do this. I like the functionality where once it's opened up, like I would like it to do this. Yeah, let's do this. Take a look at this screenshot. Note the agent sidebar on the left, and then take a look at the terminal area. Note that I want there to be a terminal area where it shows the project directories and allows me to just click that plus icon. It should save this so that I don't have to constantly open up fresh terminals and CD into that directory. It should save the workspaces that I'm working in the project and allow me to quickly click the plus icon to open up new terminals in that directory. Yeah, it should match the agent sidebar directly. Yeah, the cursor UI, I really was a big fan of the cursor UI, so I did use cursor 3 as the inspiration. OT over in Twitch said GPT tokenization for token usage estimation should be good enough. No? Probably, yeah. I've actually never heard of that, though. Christifa said, bought a walking pad today, gonna vibe code some pounds off. Let's go, dude. That's awesome. Christifa said, you've worked so hard to get to this point in your music career. Yeah. All right. Only over on Twitch said you should also add thinking modes for the models, low, medium, high, and extra high. I should, yes. I'm going to drop that in. Look at this recommendation that was offered by somebody that is in my chat. Note that for the Codex integration where we have the auth there, we should also offer these, search the internet and identify the different options to offer, because for the GPT 5.4 model, there are different modes. Make sure that we're offering all compatible versions of it. What language I'm using? I'm using English currently. I may switch it up, but currently I'm using English. I'm just kidding. I'm using Electron, so TypeScript. All right, perfect. So it's adding the different reasoning efforts. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Will I implement CDance 2.0 into View Creator? Is that possible right now? Yeah, so it is possible, but here's the thing, guys, is that, like, I don't think that the video gen is good enough yet for, like, I mean, is CDance, hold on, how much is CDance? It's very easy to do that. It's like a 2-hour sprint. Let's see here. CDance v2 2.0. So reference to video, for example. So look at this, guys. This is the issue with reference to video, okay? Look at the cost here. 30 cents per second. So, okay, obviously you can see that it is getting better. Okay, it is getting a lot better. So this is an example of reference to video. So they dropped in just images and basically said, hey, fill the room with this furniture, right? Which is like definitely like, yeah, that's pretty cool and it looks realistic. This is going to get a lot better. But the issue right now is that with marketing with AI, it isn't there yet. It isn't there yet. And this is going to change everything. I think it's going to be a big thing that View Creator is able to do eventually. But the problem is that, hey, to create a crappy video that takes, you know, several minutes to be able to create, and then it costs, you know, $2, that's a decent amount of money, right? And people can tell that it's AI. But that won't be the case for forever, right? Like, that's going to change. Did I install front-end design skills? I did, yes, the front-end design plugin. So I actually do have a new channel that I am putting like tutorials on. So if you guys want to like learn how to vibe code, this is a new channel that I'm using to teach people to vibe code. So right now it's only got 2 videos on it, but it's got a 4-minute tutorial and then a 3-minute tutorial. So how to use skills in Claude Code and then how to build better UI with Claude Code. So this is going to be, I'm going to be working on this more, but you guys can check this out if you want. It's literally just a 3-minute video. I'm going to drop it in the Twitch chat and the YouTube chat. If you guys want to start, I'm going to turn that into like a very, so if you guys want to learn how to vibe code, if you guys don't already know, or you're a beginner, definitely go follow that channel, because that's where all that content is going to go. Because I don't think BridgeMind is very beginner friendly. Okay, let's fix this. Review the errors and fix the errors. Hold on, I think that it was this one that caused those issues, so I want to drop in that one. If you have something that's causing issues, then you want to drop it into, you want to drop the reference into that one. It looks like, yeah, it's definitely that one. It may fix it, but we'll see if it fixes it or not. All right, I'll see you, DJ. Video gen is not a commodity yet, but should be very close, which will drive the cost down. The technology has not matured enough yet. Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. All right, let's go check out that clip that got posted. I want to check out. It tagged the product. What?
For example, one thing I learned is that you actually cannot cook an egg on a DGX Spark. You know, obviously, when you initially buy a DGX Spark, that's one of the first things that you want to do with it is cook an egg. But that's
Okay. What's up, Karen? WDN said impeccable design is much more performant for me than Anthropic's base skill. It comes with 18 skills, giving you more control to run a whole process from audit to overall, plus deeper results. Yeah, I tried it out. With the front end design, like that plugin, what I like about it is I can just kind of like tell Claude Code, hey, I want you to do this, and use that plugin, and it just like integrates with it very well for an initial pass. But I think that impeccable probably is better for that. If you're following up, like doing an audit, I think that yes, like WDN, you're totally spot on with like doing audits or something like that. That can be much better. What's up, Quad? Is there any employee available for vibing? Yes, there is. All right, let's go over here. All right, let's go, chat. All right, okay, so it actually did fix itself. So now we do have the toggle here. So we have 5.4 high. Oh, GPT 5.4 Pro? I didn't think that's a thing. All right, BridgeCode. All right, so here's that context window. 848,000. Hello there, how are you? So this is GLM 5.1. So let's see if that, whoa, okay, we have updates coming in. All right. This one's still working. We'll let this one finish. We have to let this one finish. I am using AI build to build this, yes. How much am I spending on AI right now? About $1,000 a month. Okay, let's see if this worked. That update's now in. Let's go back over here. Run dev. If I can only stick to one sub, Codex $200 or Claude 200, probably Claude 200. I am using Codex today though, and it's been doing pretty well for me, to be honest. Hello there. What model are you? What are you doing? I just want to see how fast this is. So this is using GPT 5.4 mini. Okay, nice. I need you to do an in-depth review of this project and come back to me with any security vulnerabilities that you identify. All right, and then we're gonna add BridgeMind API. Well, technically it's already in BridgeMind API, so it's in the root directory. I just want to see how fast this is, and then I also want to see the grepping and the reading of files. Like, this one's different. Okay. All right, reasoning, low, GPT 5.4, nano. I want you to do an in-depth review of this project and come back to me with a review and your findings. Okay, let's do BridgeMind. Whoa. Okay, there are plenty of issues here. Okay, design, not a big fan of the design here. Okay, and this is the issue with Codex, is that Codex is so bad at design that if you do anything with Codex, if you're building anything with Codex, you're gonna just have this like sloppy design. Like, look at the leaderboards here. So this is the design arena leaderboard. This is very, very important to understand, chat. So look at this. This is design arena, right? This is GPT 5.4, right? GPT 5.4 right here. And like, look at how bad that is. That is insanely bad at design. So that's the issue that you have, is that whenever you use a Codex model to do anything, hey, you probably are going to have like some sort of, you know, it's going to be designing at some point, and it just does so bad. I mean, GPT 5.4 is worse than at design than the newly released Muse Spark. Like, that's insane at how bad GPT 5.4 is at design. Like, you can't code with that model when doing design. So, like, for example, I've been coding with Codex, and it implemented all this functionality, right? But it implemented it in, like, just this terrible UX. Like, this is a awful UX. And this is what happens when you code with Codex, is that this will just happen, right? So what you need to do is you need to be able to just say, hey, like, obviously this model is just terrible at design, so let's use Codex for something like this. I need you to review the logic that just got built, but I need you to now significantly improve the front-end design of all of this. Note that these models should be listed in settings as different models that users can turn on. Don't have the user set the reasoning at the input level on the agent page. Have them be able to select models to toggle on that will show up in their model dropdown with that set of reasoning. Treat them as different models entirely. Review the current implementation and styling of this and launch sub-agents to help you completely refactor this. Get the reasoning dropdown out of the agent input and put these models as separate models inside of the model selector and settings. Yeah, I can share Vibe Academy. Hold on, give me 1 second. So if you just look up Vibe Academy, here's the here's the link in the chat. I'm gonna be posting like tutorials and stuff on vibe coding there, for like beginners and whatnot. So if you're like a vibe coding beginner, you can watch those videos. But to be honest, this main channel isn't really for like beginners. I don't like I do my best to explain what I'm doing, like in videos and in streams and stuff. But sometimes it's like, hey, you know, I am working, right, in my normal workflow. So you guys can work for my natural workflow. But in those videos, I try and do a little bit of a better job explaining things. So let's fix this. And I think that Claude will do a much better job in the design of all that, because it's like, yeah, I mean, the design here just, it absolutely sucks. Let's check out those terminals and see. Oh, look at that. So that's what we were working on earlier, and it actually nailed that first shot. So you guys can see here now with the terminals, I'm able to just launch these terminals right there. Boom. This one. Boom. Opened up. Then I can launch Claude inside there. That's nice. Let's launch Codex inside this one. And then anytime for example, let's CD into like a different directory, right? So let's launch this, and let's CD into View Creator API, for example. And, actually didn't do what I wanted it to do. Okay, let's try this. Okay, as soon as I CD in a new directory, it should create a new workspace. So I use CleanShot X. Shout out to WDan for this one. So I'm going to use CleanShot X, and I'm going to drop this into Claude, because Claude's better at this. When I CD into a new directory, it should open up and load in that workspace in the terminal area, respectively. Right now, it's synced with the agent window, but it would be nice if... Actually, let me think on that one. Let me think on that one. That may not be needed because right now what I just realized is these are actually synced. So for example, if I open up, so there are the recents. You guys can see the recents. But if I open up, for example, like View Creator API and I drop this in, right? This is going to open up a new workspace, and you can see that that's now, look at this. Now this is going to show up there. See that? So now that's a new workspace, and now I can open up the terminals inside of that workspace. So these are synced, which is good. According to OpenAutor, GPT 5.4 Mini has a context limit of 400K, but on BridgeCode I see 848K. Yeah, this is not right. We'll launch a bunch of sub-agents. Hold on, I'm actually going to drop in Gaku. This is what we're going to do. So Gaku just brought up a really good point. Yes, I want you to first create a README file that is a complete structured plan of all of this information and a structured plan for each task to fix it. All right, so we're not going to worry about this one, so I'm going to drop this one instead. And then, yes, so Gaku just brought up a really good point. Review the point that was just brought up by somebody in my chat. Launch 5 sub-agents that will actually be able to get these context windows correct. Inside of the model providers, there should be some type of information to make sure that we do get this correct. Figure out how we could make sure that the context window size is always correct. Launch sub-agents to figure out the best practice implementation for this. Also, on the front-end design for the styling of the context window and how much context is left, I really don't like the styling of how it looks currently. Would you use the front-end design plugin to improve this? Hey, PythCon, I didn't even know you were in the chat, dude. What's up, man? Mute the app said, MuseSpark ranking 4th in the text arena is ahead of GPT 5.4 and Grok 4.2. Yeah, that is insane. Yeah, today's stream is a little bit more chill. Here's the thing, guys. I'll be honest with you. Like, there's some days where I'm exhausted, right, from work, and like I think that consistency is the key. Where, for example, like, hey, there's some streams where I'll have a ton of energy, and then there's some streams where I'm just showing up because consistency is the key. And that's actually why I wrote on the board consistency is the key, because, like, hey, at the end of the day, to be completely honest and genuine with you guys, like, I'm just tired. You know, this takes a lot out of me, and it's streaming every day is strenuous for sure. And the thing is that I do believe that if you continue to show up and just give it everything that you have, that you will succeed. But, you know, there's some days where I could do, you know, 1,000 push-ups on stream with cold plunges and stuff. And then there's other days where I'm just showing up because consistency is the key. And I know that it's like, hey, for example, I've been going to the gym since I was 13 years old, right? Even if you don't feel like going to the gym, it's better to show up to the gym and get a bad workout than not show up to the gym at all, right? And that's what I'm doing. This is what this stream is that, hey, we're showing up, we're staying consistent, and we're putting the work in, and we're laying down another brick, because that's what it takes to succeed. Yeah, attendance is still 100%. Let's go. PythCon, let's go. I appreciate that, man. Do I think it's possible to vibe code with just GLM? Probably. I mean, if you do look at LM Arena is like it's pretty good. Like, if you look at the leaderboard here, I'm very surprised at, let's look at this overview. Look at this. LM Arena, GLM 5.1. Pretty good. It's not good in other areas, though. Like, here's one thing to note that people need to understand. Wow. How did Opus 4.6 get #1 on Vision now? What? But look at this, guys. GLM 5.1 is not that great at these other things. It's not that great with text. It's not that great with vision. It doesn't even have vision, right? So it's just interesting. All right, we've got 3 Claude agents running for us right now. I want you to do an in-depth review of the GitHub workflow file inside of the BridgeCode directory. do we have the build set up properly so that when we commit this to GitHub with the new version that it does publish the release? Check up on the status of this. You can review Bridgespace Tari and Bridge Voice for reference on this pipeline. Reneg said, just adjust the cadence, bro, showing up on low energy days. What do you mean? Adjust the cadence on what? On how often I stream? So I'm looking at the Chinese models to switch to or go for Open Code Go. Well, first of all, I'm not familiar with Open Code Go, but which one is better, Opus 4.6 API or with the Claude subscription? Definitely with the Claude subscription. You are going to run up a check if you use the Opus 4.6 API. You're going to run up a complete check with that. Super, super expensive. Wow. How good is the free open code? I personally don't use it, so I can't really like tell you too much about that. I want you to do a web search on what Paperclip is and what Hermes is and help me understand what each of these are and how they would perform on this DGX Spark. Apparently people are saying that OpenClaw is kind of on the way out. Let's check this out. What tool? What's it called? Video IQ, I think? VidIQ, yeah. Hold on, let's actually take a look at this, guys. This is interesting. So we have 4 Claude agents working for us. I want to look at this. So if you guys have heard about this, it's called like Hermes agent. Let's take a look at this, okay? So let's go to OpenClaw, right? So OpenClaw, 6.6 million. Very high competition, right? Like people are pumping this. But look at this. 1 month ago, 138K views per hour. It's now decreased. It's decreased by about half. Whereas Claude Code, wow. Claude Code is blowing up. Jeez, do you guys see this? Oh my gosh. Jeez, there's literally gold in the streets. What? There's literally gold in the streets and nobody else sees it. Not nobody else, but look at this though. That is insane. You guys need to understand the data on stuff. All right, now if you look at Hermes agent, like literally look up Hermes agent, right? Look at this. So this one is starting to pop off, right? It's not like OpenClaw. Paperclip. What is it called? Paperclip agent? Paperclip is an orchestration platform. Paperclip. Wow. So it went super viral on about 2 weeks ago. This one's high too, though. Paperclip AI. Jeez. So this is basically like, if you guys are wondering what this is, this shows you the demand of stuff, right? So for example, like I could look up Codex tutorial, right? And this was what shows you, like, look at this. Only 236,000 people are searching for Codex tutorial, whereas Claude Code tutorial, 1.5 million. So if that doesn't show you guys what the demand of stuff is, I don't know what does. Dat Money said 5.5 dropped. That's not true, is it? You're just trolling in the chat? Yeah, I don't think they're gonna drop anything on a Friday. But yeah, this is definitely like very interesting though to look at, because you can use that to be able to judge demand. How different is this from Google Trends or Google Ads keyword research? I think it's a little bit better because it's what people are searching for on YouTube specifically. So it does give you a look at like what people are watching, right? It's all good, get that money, but you don't got to do that. Okay. Good, good, good. Okay. Let's pull this back up. So guys, we are going to be launching BridgeCode next week. Okay, BridgeCode is going to launch next week. We have literally the entire architecture and infrastructure is already built for this. We're going to launch it because I think it's better to launch it and just get early user feedback. So let's go over here. All right. So View Coder API. Why is it starting out with? I want you to create a single HTML file of a retro Space Invaders game. Create a structure plan for this. Okay, so we're in plan mode. Let's see how this works. I have not used Overstory, no. Why do I still use Cursor? I've got a bunch of money from Cursor. I've got credits, so may as well use them. All right, so let's go over here, and I can just open this up. Review this, make it so that I can queue messages. As you can see here, the icon is a square, even though it is done. Like, it should always have a send button so that I can send messages. Even if the agent is running, I should be able to send messages in the queue so that when the agent finishes working, that it sends the message that's next in the queue. Review this functionality in this request and launch an agent team to build it. So I'm basically building an ADE for devs. So I already have an ADE. This is it. BridgeSpace is launched. This is what most of the ARR is stemming from. BridgeMind is at, I think it's like 63,000 ARR, and then ViewCoder is at 12,000, 13,000. So this is where most of the revenue is coming from, is it's an ADE. Now we are working on an IDE now with BridgeCode, and then we're also going to be shipping a terminal, a CLI. So I'm excited. There's going to be a lot of launches in April. Okay, Gaku said, not sure if possible, but would you add a regenerate button and a way to go back to a previous message, like double pressing escape to revert to that point I want to go back, or a button instead of a hotkey? Yes, so that's definitely going to be something that we want to do. I want to improve the, if you go over here, just this design is like, I'm not a fan of the design. I'm still not there with the design of the conversations. Maybe we can launch a bunch of agents to do that. like this one here, this one's done, but it's still showing that it's working. Like, okay, hold on here. I need a better screenshot of this to show what's happening. Check out the screenshot here. Why is it that some of these agents in the sidebar say that they're still running, even though they're obviously still not running? Review this with a sub agent and figure out what is causing this and fix it. Okay, so watch this, guys. We're gonna launch an agent team to improve the styling of these agent windows. I need you to create an agent team built around the styling of messaging agents in the agent window here. For example, when I send a message, it should basically show like kind of like a text bubble of the prompt, and it should be very, very well styled. Use the front-end design plugin to help with this. That will go and be sleek and modernly styled, very professional. There should also be a revert button that allows me to be able to revert the changes that agent made, which means we need to integrate some sort of Git tracking for these agents so that if I need to revert to a certain checkpoint in one of these agent conversations, I can do this. Launch an agent team, a swarm, that will be able to search the internet, find the best approach to do this, and then build it into BridgeCode respectively with 0 errors and no mistakes. All right, let's see what we can do there. Okay, I actually made a mistake here. I need to add BridgeCode. Are you full-time vibe coding or do I have a day job? I am fortunate enough where this is my 3rd startup, and I was able to invest $30,000 into BridgeMind to actually get it off the ground. But pretty much what happened was, you know, initially when you start a company, you burn money. So I invested that capital because I knew that I was going to lose some money when I first started BridgeMind. But over time, BridgeMind now makes like quite a bit of money. And I'm investing all that capital back into the business because I know if I just continue to reinvest money back into the business, back into the business, back into the business, that eventually this will turn into like a multi-million-dollar organization that I can then sell out of. Is the ultimate end goal, is that I'd like to sell BridgeMind at some point to a private equity group. I'll probably do a Series A funding at some point in 2026. I think that's going to shock a lot of people just at how much the company is worth today, or when we end up doing that round. But that's the end goal, is that, you know, I'd like to be able to retire when I'm in my 20s. I'm currently 23, and I think by 26, I'd like to be retired. So we'll see how that plays out. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I would raise a capital from a private equity group. Yeah, I think that once we get to maybe around like $250,000 in ARR, that'll be a good position to do. But before then, I think that we still have a lot of work to do until we get to that point. But there's a couple initiatives that I have in my business plan. So, did my new keyboard come? It did. Yeah, it's awesome. I dreamed about retiring at 26 when I was 23. I think I'm well positioned for it, to be honest. What do you think realistically you can sell BridgeMind for? Well, right now, I'm not really thinking about selling BridgeMind. The big thing is like, hey, if you can build BridgeMind into a company that has just like this massive community, social presence, marketing presence, and product suite, you have a company that's like, especially in the AI field, these different initiatives that I'm doing are making the company pretty valuable. So, like, for example, hey, if somebody came to me today and they said, hey, I'm going to offer you $500,000 for half of the company, right? I would decline. If they said, I'll give you $1 million for half of the company, I would decline. I'd only be interested in investment in BridgeMind if it was $1 million for 10%. Is the only, so I'm working up to that point. That's the point that I'm working to is I'd like to sell equity in the company once it's worth $10 million, which I think that we can do that in 2026. We'll see. But I'd like to be able to come out of 2026 with over, like, having, about like $9 to $10 million in equity in the business. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I'm spending a little bit over $1,000 a month on AI subscriptions right now. All right, I think we did fix that error. That looks good. This looks fine. Why is it giving us an initial 2.3K here? Do you guys see this? Sir Jeff, you're funny. Check out this screenshot. Why does it say that context is already being used up when I haven't even submitted a prompt yet? I mean, here's the thing. On like I just want to be able to also like build BridgeMind into a company where I can just wake up and kind of have the freedom to do what I want. I don't want to have like a ton of pressure. Like in my last startup, it had a lot of people working for the company. It had a lot of employees. And, that's a good thing when a company grows. But the thing is that when a company grows and you have people that are depending on the company and people that are working for the company, it does add extra pressure to you as the owner and the founder and the CEO of the company. There's a lot of pressure that gets added when you do start introducing employees and people that are working for you, because there's overhead to it, right? And it's a lot different to kind of like run things as like an indie hacker that's making, $100,000 a year versus, running an organization that has like millions of dollars in capital investment, and you have all these people counting on you, right? So there's also that factor that's in it as well. That's honestly why I haven't looked for outside investors yet, is because I just kind of like the feel of things right now. I like the low pressure. Start to repeat, how many tokens are you using approximately daily? And can my MacBook Air M2 handle this workflow? Ooh, an M2 Air, it's less about it's more about like the programs that you're running. Like your MacBook, your M2 Air would be fine, like running BridgeSpace, for example, but it would be more so like, hey, if you're running like a dev server, how big is that dev server? It will work for most though, it just depends. But guys, like one thing here, like AI clipping tool. Look at this, 7,700 AI clipping. Nobody is searching for this. AI clipping. So this would be a way to market it. Like when you are approaching marketing, like this would be a way to market View Creator that would be better, because it actually has the demand for it. Look at this, 1.4 million, 54.8. Look at this. How to vibe code. 110. What is vibe coding? 128. Vibe coding tutorial. 183. Claude Code. 9.4. I cannot believe that. 9.4 million. Claude Code for beginners. Oh my gosh. I mean, this market is wide open, chat. And this is why, like, just so you guys know, a massive initiative is Vibe Academy. And you guys are seeing it right here. There's so many people. Oh, man. There's so many people that need to learn vibe coding. It's going to be big. Yeah. This looks good. So this actually was able to measure this. 527,000 in, 7.9K out. More. Hello there, how are you doing? All right, let's switch to GLM 5.1. Oh, I don't like what it did. I don't like that UI. This is what that agent team did. $6.1K in, 55 out. Yeah, I'll add that. Wait, which one did that? I hate what you did. This made it look so unprofessional. It needs to not be chat bubbles. I like what we had before. I just meant the user input needed to be just in its own section and be different than the agent output, but not in these ugly text bubbles. Try again. Okay. Would you review this and think through how we could build in skills to BridgeCode? It should just be in the BridgeCode.BridgeCode file, and users should be able to create skills inside of BridgeCode, and they should be able to invoke those skills by typing a / command. And when they type the / command, it should put up the menu for them to select from in the skills directory, respectively. Review this and integrate this accordingly. This is a request from a user. Thank you, Gaku. What headphones are these? These are the Apple. These are the Apple AirPod Maxes, the 2s. Okay. Yeah, this looks terrible. Any news about the limit? Yeah, the limits are still, like, they're still down during peak hours, and honestly, I think that it's, like, kind of here to stay in terms of, like, peak hour limits. They're just, it's tough. The peak hour limits are pretty bad. Okay, we're gonna improve this. Yikes. Yikes. There, that's a little bit better. Okay, that's better, yeah. Alright, I definitely like this. I do wonder how this is going to perform once we actually get the, you know, the DMG and the executable downloaded. Great. Make it a little bit better, though. Make it take up full width, end-to-end width in the container. Maybe just a tiny bit of padding. W Dan, I don't know, man. I don't know. Do you think that after the IPOs it's gonna be done? All right, guys. I just wanted to show up today and stream for 3 hours. I did make progress on BridgeCode today. That was the main focus of today's stream. You guys can see context window here. That looks good. We also got this terminal view worked up. Got some work to do on GitHub. Also, we did implement the plan mode, and we now have the IDE looking super, super nice for BridgeCode. So this could launch next week or the week after that. It just depends on how much work I'm able to do over the weekend. I'm not going to do any streams this weekend. I am going to have videos coming out, and I will be active in the Discord. I just have a ton of work that I need to do off stream, so I'm going to get to doing that the rest of today. But I just wanted to show up and show the consistency, because the consistency is the key, guys. So have a great rest of your day. I will see you guys tomorrow around the Discord server. I'll probably be in the co-working channel hanging out. But also, I'll be putting out some videos tomorrow. So with that said, have a great weekend, and I will see you guys in the future.